Hello everyone, and Rainy jumping in here real quick before you get the audio from the Twitch stream of Vaesen episode 2. I just have some exciting news, which is we now have a theme song. So without further ado, thank you to Dan Pomfret, aka @Dan from both bands on most social media, and enjoy some Detective 20 inspired DMs After Dark theme music.
Live and in color. Thank you, Gillers. Gillers loves our intro. Nice. So yeah, here we are. What's up?
What's up, friends?
Welcome back to session 2 of Vaesen Mythic Prison. And we're mispronouncing things. We are absolutely slaughtering the British culinary traditions, which we will continue to do so. So to our friends in the British Isles,
we're going to put mayonnaise on something.
Yeah, we're going to put mayonnaise.
You can keep your mayo
on a scone.
And I will just
mayo on a scone.
Mayo on a scone.
That hurts me.
Before tea.
Yes.
Mayo on a scone
100%.
before afternoon tea. Apparently, scones are only eaten at tea time. I only learned that. And
right, it should be clotted cream on the scones, right? Not the marmalade. That's where we done fucked up.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, it could have been. Probably right.
Yeah.
Probably.
Almond's real.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, for people who like fucking boil intestines and shit, you all have a lot of weird rules about your food. That's all I'm saying. Still not as bad as Canadians, but still.
I did have some intestines recently that were prepared. I don't remember the name of the dish, but it was a...
was it chitlins?
No, it was an authentic Vietnamese dish.
Oh, shit.
And it was cooked with like cumin and curry. It was spicy. And it was... I would give it like a 7 out of 10. And the only reason why it wasn't higher is because for me, the consistency of the intestines was not very good.
The texture.
I can imagine that's not the texture.
Like, flavor was good. Not a fan of the texture, though.
Yeah.
It was like eating gritty butter.
Crephalis.
Oh, no.
Weird.
No.
Weird. That's usually not my description of intestines, but like I've
gritty butter. No.
It was spleen and intestine. So the intestine was chewy. The spleen was like gritty butter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
I was going to say chewy, yeah.
It's like shriveling into my body.
Yeah.
But I'll try anything once.
I don't have a lot of taste issues with food, but I have a ton of texture issues with
texture,
food.
for sure,
I
dude.
cannot do that. Yeah, texture is a major... I was like a little bit just at the thought of gritty butter. So yeah.
Do you know why? It's because we're sophisticated, actually.
Is that true? Please tell us.
I'm 100%
Chris Wen has
convinced.
subscribed to us for 11 months. Go for it. Tell me, Troy. What is the reason?
No, it's just because we're sophisticated. That's why it's the texture that's a problem for us.
Pinkies up.
Also, Chris Wen. Yeah, thank you, bud. Appreciate that.
So, since we have Austin Conrad in chat with us today.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Welcome, Austin. Thanks for joining us, bud.
Of many things. Many things that I have used for my own RuneQuest campaign, including, hell yeah, brother, a certain shaman of Yelm, who I'm sure he did not intend to be Hulk Hogan when he wrote him, but I made him Hulk Hogan. But Chris, Austin wrote the Awesome Treasures of Glorantha 2. There's a 1 too, so you can go find that. But Treasures of Glorantha 2 came out. Supposed to come out today, but it came out a couple days ago, unexpectedly a little early. So it is out. It is awesome. I've looked at it. There's stuff I'm immediately going to use, particularly the vow stuff, which is really, really great. Which is basically to talk about if you're a Vaesen person, you haven't seen us play RuneQuest, watch us play RuneQuest. But
please,
it's a rune spell where you can make a vow to like your god or goddess, like I swear by Orlanth that I'm going to do this, and the god can be like, Yep, that's appropriate. You get a boon. And so now you have this, this vow you made that if you break it, there's a downside. But if you don't and you abide by the vow and you follow it, you've got some blessings coming your way for following a vow and doing godly things. So very, very cool, including a lot of other things that are awesome in there. And particularly, Austin, I really like the breath, which I don't want to say any more about because I have the players here, but the breath is very awesome and will most likely be used. The breath will be used because it fits so well into Company of Dragon. But it's out today. You should check it out. And if you're here and you hang out for a while with us, we'll give away a free copy, at least one, unless Austin wants to be generous and give away more. But we will give one away today at some point, maybe halfway, maybe at the end. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to Amber because she's in charge of this whole show.
Chaos reigns. There is somebody with the username Captain of the Manatee.
That's Chris.
That's Chris.
Holy shit!
That
Chris,
is the second time. That is the second
fantastic
time.
username.
I was going to say that is the second time he got randomly gift subbed.
Yeah, dude, that's great.
Welcome again.
I love that shit.
Chris.
I'll give
If
Chris a sub
wins
with that
the
name.
book, roll again because Chris don't read RPGs.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, obviously, we're going to be exempt. The people who are us in chat.
Right.
So, whoever else we have in there, we'll
should do it.
We'll roll.
We should do like a mid-session break.
Mid-sesh? Okay, we'll do a break.
Yeah,
we'll
let's do that. That's a great idea.
Because that's
When I
good
have
because
to
a lot
pee.
of our listeners
When
are
the first time I have to pee, we will do the giveaway.
And when Jess's computer dies. Yes.
I plugged it in this time. Okay.
She's good.
I'm plugged in. But that is a good point. That's a good time to do it. That's like about 2 hours then.
Yeah, because it is like, I know, Amber, like one of my joys of having run RuneQuest like all last year and getting to be a player now is I can just go pee whenever I want.
Yeah.
Just be like, be right back. Because
I'm sitting here like towards the end of the session, I'm like,
you're like
dancing in my chair.
Maybe this is a Troy signature move, but I actually really love in my home games being like, okay, I just drop a bomb and then I go, okay, guys, talk it out amongst yourselves, and then I go pee or make a cocktail and come back. It's great.
He's like, there, enjoy that, and then he just walks away. We're like, ah.
I'm giving this to
I like
you.
to do that if I'm not running like online, like it's just
No, that's
with
fair.
Call of Cthulhu. You're like sanity check, don't tell anyone what it is, and just leave for a bit. That's the real sadistic one.
Rude.
Yeah. Arkham also came out this week, the Chaosium book on Arkham, which is pretty cool. Of course, I got it because I'm me. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like a setting book, which is cool. Cthulhu doesn't have a lot of those. So, yeah.
Hey, bud, what's up?
So,
Look what kind of toy I got.
Okay, one sec, bud. I'm streaming.
Finally, I get to ask who wants to recap.
and I will be the person who does it, in fairness, since you always did it for RuneQuest.
Yes.
So fair is fair.
Just mix up all of the names though, like I do.
I don't remember the names.
Like
so
Lake
I
of
have my notes.
Blackspear and fucking, they're all just Kalir and
the
Lake are
notes.
the same
Kalir,
person.
yeah.
They'd hate that.
And I'm going to attempt as much as possible to get the names correct. I will slaughter them mercilessly because it's me. So when last we played, we picked up at various parts of the city of London where we may have lived, or at the Rose Hall where some of us have stayed. Rosalie particularly stayed because she drank too much the night before. And we picked up with breakfast where I sacrilegiously put marmalade on a scone, which was a double sin from what I've been told from some of our wonderful British people. So yeah. And then we did some research. Rosalie particularly researched like spring festivals and things of that nature. Nora did survival, I think.
Yeah, I did some research on
Yeah.
cold and ice. Yep.
I don't remember
Medical
what Riley
stuff.
did, but I know he did some stuff.
I tried doing some stuff. It did not work.
You
Right.
tried to do some research on the Stonehenges, but didn't
Yes.
get anything. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, correct. Standing stones. And then Ronaldo went back to the graveyard and his dog sniffed out some supernatural stuff, possibly.
He looked around with the
but-
eye.
Yeah, he looked around with the hag's eye too, through the hag's eye stone.
Yeah.
Do not know what he saw there. Then we jumped on a train. We went to Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire. I did say that part right. Gloucestershire. We got there. We arrived at town.
Say it with a Boston accent now. Gloucestershire.
You got to get to Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire. Parked the car in Gloucestershire. We arrived in not the town that we were going to, which is Brancombe,
Brancombe.
but town like the bigger town that's outside of
Annisbury.
it, which is Amesbury, which is kind of where
Annisbury. Yep.
Annisbury.
Annisbury.
Jess, don't listen to Jess.
Annisbury.
She says it wrong
What?
every
Christian
time.
got it wrong too.
You sounded
Annisbury.
like Annisbury. Yeah, you did. It did sound like Annisbury.
Annisbury.
Hell yeah,
Annisbury.
brother.
Annensbury. So at Annensbury, we did some snooping around. Rosalie and Nora went to see and try to bluff their way in to the police station where the young man who is being accused of murder is being held. Rosalie, very characteristically, was overconfident and immediately went in bluffing about being reporters, which was the wrong thing to say. And we hit a brick wall really, really fast.
The wrongest.
The wrongest
wrongest
thing
thing.
I could have said. Literally the worst possible thing, which is, par for the course of Christian's life. So apparently that rubbed off on Rosalie. And so we got blown out really, really quickly. Meanwhile, Riley and Ronaldo actually went to see the body, managed to get in and talk to the doctor, managed to do some looking at the body. What did they find, Troy? I don't remember.
Looking
exactly.
at the reports of the body, the
The
body
reports, right.
was not available.
The body
Well,
was
no, the body of the guy was available, but not the girl.
He wasn't a body when you saw him.
Yeah. Well,
he was
wasn't.
alive.
Yeah, he
The
was a body that
patient.
was
Correct.
leaving.
Yeah, you went to see the gentleman who had fallen off the bridge. Tried to talk to
stranger.
him, but he was gone. He departed the mortal coil while you were there, and there was a howling of dogs out in the distance.
Yeah, dude,
And,
June was like all about that shit. Yep.
Not
June
in the
was all about
distance,
that
in the
shit.
foreground.
In the foreground. Oh
It
shit.
was
Okay.
June.
much
It was
closer.
June, like right outside.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought there was other howling of dogs, but that's
Nope,
makes
just-
No,
it
it was
even
June.
cooler.
It was
So
June.
June knew when he departed. Okay, cool.
Plotted.
That's deported. See,
I'm
gonna
not
keep
a
slipping into
fucking
that.
co-op.
I'm not a fucking cop, you lace curtain Irish motherfucker. So funny story, when I watched that movie with that whole Mark Wahlberg thing, this is an aside, like I was immediately brought back to like my grandma, who was like super Irish and hated the lace curtain Irish, and always be like, that's lace curtain Irish.
Dude, Irish hating Irish is a big thing, isn't it?
It is.
It's huge,
That's why
bro.
they're like, what county are you from? And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
How many countries are in this country?
4.
4.
But the lace curtain Irish were like the wealthier Irish who had come over, and that was not my ancestors. And they like,
Potato
absolutely
famine
hated it.
exempt Irish is what.
Yes, and
is
we
the
were very
PC
much.
term.
My ancestors were very much potato famine affected Irish folk on that side of the family. So anyway, that's aside from my own history. So there was a dead person. He died. The dog knew. He howled. Meanwhile, Rosalie and Nora had gone to a local bar where we tried to drum up some rumors. We got some. We found that the locals were mostly kicking the party line that the kid did it. Rosalie stirred some things up because it didn't make sense because the body was very damaged as if an animal had attacked it. And so Rosalie sowed some seeds of discord in town just because she wasn't happy about the cops having cast her out and not even paid any attention to her. We went to our carriage, took it to the small town of Brancombe, where we met the local vicar already, but he put us up for the night with some questionable room sharing arrangements. And that's where we left off.
All right. Sun comes up bright and early in the village of Brancombe. There is the cockadoodle-doodling of roosters. The distant snorts of draft beasts, people just slowly coming awake, the clang of some sort of metal implement in the distant village. But you all wake to those gentle sounds and the pale light of morning streaming through your windows, alive and in one piece with a long, long day ahead of you in your respective chambers. Who's up first? Who sleeps in?
Rosalie is going to make sure she gets up. What's the name of the guy who's the priest? I'm sorry.
Edgar Longby.
Edgar Longby. She's going to get up early, hopefully see Edgar, because she's going to just She wants him to be a little bit scandalized. Because he was already scandalized about the fact that he allowed an unmarried man and woman to sleep in the same room. So she's just going to get up and like
Walk it out in your night
knowing,
shift, bare feet.
Just give him like a knowing look in the morning, just like a little smile, a little like.
Except he doesn't know. You know what I mean? He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Come out and just be like, "Oh, thank you. I slept wonderfully." Just something like that.
Rosalie, you come padding out of the your shared room, looking for trouble, and what you find in the kitchen is a woman. She's a middle-aged woman with her hair tied back in a bun, wearing an apron, and she is setting to making breakfast. She's got a big skillet. She's cracking eggs. There's some salted pork sizzling away.
Mayonnaise scones.
Beans. People eat beans for breakfast.
They do. Yeah, beans. So like the full English is like beans and eggs and like sausage and shit. Yeah.
Actually, that's a missed opportunity here. I feel beans for breakfast is a good idea.
I just watched an episode of the Great British Baking Show, and it's like the only episode I've ever watched where almost everything made me go, There was like beans and like a cake and stuff. I was like, what is happening? I don't like this. There was like fish that looked like a wedding cake. And I was like, I can't. It was in everything. But yes, she's cooking away, and she kind of notices you enter the room, and says, she gives you a look first, a little kind of disapproving look, and she says, and then kind of brusquely, morning.
Oh, good morning. Thank you. It was a wonderful evening. What is this, Mrs. Hopper or Mrs. Hooper? Because I have a name. I have that name written down.
Yeah, I didn't write down the name.
Before turning in, Edgar had told you that Mrs. Hopper comes and tends the vicarage, so you might see her around, not to be startled.
Oh, you must be Mrs. Hopper.
You must
Rosalie,
be
darling.
the vicar's guest.
Oh, nice to meet you. And she just kind of like holds out her hand out.
Hands are a bit greasy, I'm afraid. She
Oh, well, fair enough.
punches some dough.
Nice.
Well, you can get washed up before breakfast. We're country folk, but we're not barbarians.
Fair enough. I will go wash up.
Pump water. It's cold.
Fair enough. Listen, it's probably about the same as what I have in my poverty flat in London. So,
the poverty flat in London's a little bit warmer because it is summer.
True.
Oh,
yeah. True. Is it abnormally cold when I go outside the pump? Because I'm assuming this is like outside.
It's certainly colder than the water in your London flat. It is not so cold as to be like instantly recognizable as unnatural. You're not sure how deep the like underwater like wells and whatnot are out here, so it's hard to tell if perhaps they've just dug their water source deeper, or if there's a spring or something down there, or if something is going on.
I will, once I've washed, I go back inside. If it is, you have to go outside, I'm assuming, because it usually is the case. I will say, the water is quite cold. Is it normally that cold? Or I've heard that there's some, unseasonable coldness going on. I was just wondering if that perhaps had caused it.
The Reverend been talking to you about our troubles?
He has, yes.
Imagine he told you about the frosts.
He has, yes.
No frosts have touched the holy church and the vicarage so far, near as I can tell. But
thank heaven for that.
the outlying farm's been having a bit of trouble.
Okay. Which one? And any outlying ones in particular, or just all around in the circle?
Oh, seems every farmer's got a story about mutilated sheep.
Where were the first ones?
Hard to say. Everybody likes to get talking and get to gossiping, and it's hard to tell when news first started. Something happened before, or somebody came into town earlier than somebody else. And
Understandable. And tell me, I understand the Daisy, the young girl, rest her soul. She was found near old Meg's Holt.
She was.
What could you tell me about that, please?
Oh, I was not part of the search. I was tending my duties here. Somebody's got to help the Reverend with the domestic tasks. Take my job very seriously.
As you should.
Some of the young men of the village went out and went looking, and some of them seen the body. They've had nothing but nasty descriptions to spread around. Don't like talking of such things. Daisy was a sweet girl.
I've heard nothing but the best things about her. And I've heard she was found in quite a state. I'm very sorry for your loss. I'm sure you knew her.
Everybody knows everybody in these small parts, not like you city goers.
Oh,
Don't know your neighbors. Don't pay them any mind.
Not quite. I grew up in a place not very different from this, and it was sometimes wonderful that everybody knew each other.
She squints her eyes at you like she very much doubts that.
But it's the truth. It was the truth. She grew up out on the moors.
Don't have many fancy tutors in these areas to teach people city talking.
Would you like to learn some?
No, I'm much too old for that. Just be minding my tasks, minding my business.
Fair enough, darling, but I find one is never too old to learn something new.
How about you, if you're in the mind to teaching, how about you gather up your companions so we can make proper introductions and they'd be on time for breakfast.
Oh, I will. Except for Riley, he's just a horrible man. I'm afraid of him. I won't wake him up. So I'll wake Ronaldo and Nora.
Rude. So you go to wake Ronaldo, and him and June are actually not in the room.
Did I not notice you when I got up that you were missing, or did I
just didn't notice? I guess I wasn't in the kitchen. I wasn't out and about. So,
or he snuck out. You don't know when.
Yeah, but I'm not in the room. So, and neither is June.
Because I wanted to make a big deal about you coming out with me in the morning.
Plans foiled. You're like, how am I supposed to look like a hussy in front of these religious folk?
All right, I'll go wake Nora.
Do you go into the room or do you knock on the door? Or
I will knock gently.
Okay. So when you approach the door, you might hear Nora talking quietly. And then when you knock, she just kind of like, right there. I'll be right there. One moment.
Oh yes, so breakfast is to be served shortly.
Oh, lovely breakfast. Thank you. I'll be right out.
Then I stop and I'll be like, I suppose I'll get Riley, and I'll go knock on the door for Riley.
Riley. Trying to think. Riley actually probably is already up and out. So when you go to the door, you see it open and
Riley's
there.
Also not there.
He's probably out and went outside and to walk around the grounds for a little bit.
Okay, so just the girls.
Probably out snooping around. Amazing.
Poking his nose in places that he shouldn't be. Yeah.
Filthy Irishman. Anyway. As I go back, I'll see if Nora is maybe Nora is just coming out, and I'm like, look like it's just the girls for breakfast, dear.
Oh, more of the boys run off too.
Oh, who knows? Probably off getting into trouble.
I mean, I think that's usually your job, Rosalie.
I know. I'm upset they didn't invite me.
I'm grateful. Okay. Well, what's for breakfast?
Beans.
Delicious.
Eggs.
Beans
Delicious.
and eggs and meats.
Perfect.
And rustic bread.
Perfect. Standard Irish, standard breakfast.
Yeah, the old full English.
Yeah.
Blood sausage.
I think there's fruit in there too. Yeah, but they eat sausage too. There is sausage that they eat too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronaldo will come back at this point. He walks in the door with June, and he's got just a kind of a small ring of sweat around the collar of his shirt. some perspiration going on his face. He's not like, he doesn't look like disgusting and completely saturated, but it looks like he's been maybe doing something physically strenuous. And he walks into the house and hangs up his winter coat that he borrowed from the folks back at the Mr. Hawkins. And he just kind of looks and sees the new face and says, "Oh, hello."
Out! No animals in the house. This is cleanliness is next to godliness, not in the vicarage. Out! She's
but June is one of us.
pointing a spatula at the dog, like.
Surprisingly, without any refute, Ronaldo, without any rebuttal, says, "Oh, okay," and he walks out with June.
Trekking mud in my floors. Gonna have to wash them again. I just washed them yesterday. The work never ends.
Oh, Mrs. Hopper, I assure you, June is quite well behaved. She's as good as any of us.
She'd have the manners of the queen herself, but she's trekking mud all over my floors.
I mean, so is Ronaldo.
She's got the drooly face. Says, you go wash up for breakfast.
Didn't I tell you, just filthy, filthy men?
I'll go outside and start, I guess, washing up by the station or whatever.
Strange company. You're associates of the Reverend?
We're friends of friends, you could say. This all smells wonderful, Mrs. Hopper.
This must be from his college years before he found God.
Sometimes it takes the strange to find the strange.
She goes back to the kitchen in a huff.
Oh, no. Well, that was a rough start with, I don't think she likes us very much.
Oh,
she has like 14 different accents too, if you know.
Yeah, she does. She went from like Southerner to like
rural Brancombe is just every accent. That's how it's unintelligible. Nice. It's just all the
nice. Just switching accents left and right. Every other sentence.
14 different accents. At least 9 of them are not real.
Yeah. Shouldn't even really get to know us yet.
Yeah, well, that's not uncommon.
Riley, where are you?
Riley went just up the road to the bridge.
The road to the bridge. Early in the morning, you pass a couple folks who are kind of up with the sun sort of thing, getting carts stocked, bringing them into the town market, throwing out pails of water or, emptying bedpans from the night before. Just that sort of thing. Everybody stops to look at you as you go. You're instantly recognizable as someone who does not live here, as a foreigner.
Yep. He's
Irish bastard.
Riley is
stealing something.
Nobody says anything or waves. They just sort of stop for a minute and stare at you. You'll get like a nod if you say hello.
Yeah, he'll
like all the hobbits in the Shire.
Like nod and say hello as he's going through. He's not really expecting any hellos or whatever. More to show that he's friendly.
They are a little less than friendly. Suspicious or just kind of like warily curious would be the best way to describe most of their demeanors as you pass.
Riley is from a small place himself, so he knows he knows what it's like.
Your walk is otherwise uninterrupted, though. You make it to the bridge over the Annans River. It is an old stone bridge, still in fairly good repair. The stones and stuff are weathered. You can tell that this bridge has been here for 200 years, and it'll be here for a couple hundred more. Natural disaster not forthcoming. No one's on it right now. It's a small bridge. It's wide enough for, like one wagon to get across. 2 cannot pass side by side on the thing. But start looking around, looking for anything in particular.
I looking at the map. If I can find the right tab. I see it's also a water mill.
Seeing things in the map that I haven't seen.
Yep.
Classic
The
bliss
map
spot.
has tabs.
Beep boop.
It doesn't have taps. I have opened multiple
Indeed,
tabs
there is
for
a
things.
water
I
mill.
see.
A wheel is a turning.
Wheels in the sky keep on turning.
So Riley is just going to kind of look around the bridge. Maybe which way is the water flowing? Would it be from north to south or south to north?
I am going to say it is flowing
Under this
toward
bridge.
the south.
So
Just
okay.
because I imagine all rivers that have a north to south is flowing to the south because south
Except
is down.
one river. There is one river that flows south to north. I can't remember which one it is, but I do remember.
It would be correct. The Nile.
Is it the
flows,
Nile? I was
differently.
just gonna say.
Nile.
I think it's the Nile.
But Old Meg's Holt and Meg's Mount is north of town, so the river Anon is would be flowing down from the high ground, so it would be flowing north to south.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah,
I
brother.
just guessed.
Okay, yeah.
That was right.
All right.
There's a little bit of activity at the mill. Some farmers bringing in some sacks of grain, probably to be ground.
I think Riley is just going to kind of stay on the bridge, and he is going to kind of just look downriver to see if he can spot anything, to see if that traveler did drop anything else, because they had indicated that his pack, if he would have any, did not remain with him.
Survive. But you may make a. My lovely.
Investigation.
Nope. There's.
Yeah, it would probably be.
Is there an awareness? There's too many
vigilance.
skills. Vigilance.
There's investigation and vigilance. And
Investigation of it.
yes, I think those are the only two, really.
Vigilance. It would be vigilance. There are too many names for too many skills and too many games. My cheat sheet doesn't list them all.
Oh no.
That's why I have the book just open so I can kind of scroll along. But so my vigilance is 1, with my logic being a 5.
Your logic is a 5?
Yes,
Holy
that's
damn.
my
He's super smart. He's an
You
investigator.
can like read and shit real good.
Yeah.
Real good.
He's a private
Fuck.
investigator.
He speaks
He
that
knows
good
how
good
to use a
English.
comma.
He knows
Fuck,
how to use a
Oxford
comma.
and
Damn.
otherwise.
Even better, he knows how to use a semicolon.
Damn.
Where's the logic? The logic there. Logic is da 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 da. Yeah. Yes. So I also have my my talent. I will let you. I have Eagle Eye. It specifically is to used. I get a +2 when I'm not involved.
Yeah. Nothing going on to be involved in.
Fair
Go
enough.
ahead and apply it. You have to crouch on the edge of the bridge though, like a bird. You have to like climb up there and be like
The beard.
What kind of beard?
Beard.
he's an American dummy thick right now.
American
American
dummy
Falcon.
thing.
All right, and remind me again what the successes are.
6s. Only sixes count.
Oh, okay.
Do ones do anything, or only when I push?
1s don't do anything when you push
There's
either in this
no
one.
pushing.
That's just immune.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I have 2 successes.
2 successes. You look down the river as far as your eyes can peer, and you don't notice kind of any objects out of the ordinary. Nothing looking man-made, washed up on the shore, anything like that, as far as you can see.
Okay. I'll just continue looking around the bridge just for a little bit to see if I can notice anything that, like, how the traveler would have slipped and fallen. And Riley's not going to spend too long, maybe like a half hour doing this, and then he's going to head back to the vicarage.
You look around, look on over the edge of the there's a low stone wall framing the bridge. It wouldn't be hard to go over. It's lower than your center of gravity. It is kind of thick though. It's not like a little thin drop or anything like that. You don't notice anything like no damage or marks or anything in the stone. Nothing looks fresh. There's no blood or anything. You don't find any objects or personal effects. Everything looks pretty normal in the area around the bridge.
All right. Yeah, Riley was up. He's used to being up usually before the roosters for the most part. So he's this could be like right about dawn.
Damn.
Early.
Mhm.
I was like, Nora doesn't wake up late, and she is the latest one out of everyone.
Well, I mean, you're not necessarily waking up late.
She's not.
We're
That's what I
just
mean.
waking up
yeah,
early.
you guys are all so early.
I'm used to
So
sleeping
funny.
outside, bro. I don't even fucking sleep.
That's fair.
All right, those of you if you were up that early, you took a half hour.
Probably.
Rosalie,
Have
did
some
you?
time.
What's my timeline doing right now? Would Riley be back in time for breakfast, or would he be out looking around at the bridge while you're having breakfast?
I would like to say that, because this would be funny.
I don't know when
Rosalie
you wake up.
gets everybody for breakfast, and she's just like, I don't know where Riley is. It's just like I said, he's probably off doing something. He's very slippery. You can't trust him at all. And then he walks in.
Slippery as ever. Moist
Yeah.
to the touch.
Edgar has joined you for breakfast as well. And he
Oh.
is,
Lovely.
Oh,
he's
good
like,
morning, Edgar.
Mary, please join us. And she's like, oh, there's so much to do today, Reverend. I'm gonna actually just see to my duties, leave you to catching up with your old friends. And then she just sort of
Ronaldo
glares
looks
at
her
you
way
all
with
again
scorn,
and just bustles out of the room. And Edgar's just sort of like,
Thank you so much,
Old
Mrs.
friends.
Hopper.
It was wonderful to meet you, dear.
I'm middle-aged.
she's gone. She hasn't turned around or said
Oh
anything.
boy, she
Fine.
does not like us very much.
We gotta hydrate.
Ooh.
I just
Hydrate.
hydrate.
I've been hydrating hard. You guys are
Oh
slacking.
yeah. Mm.
Hell yeah, brother.
Edgar says, please
Eating
forgive
the liver.
Mrs. Hopper. She's most of the folk in Brancombe are not used to travelers, you see, and disruptions to their routines and whatnot. I'm sure they'll warm to you over in time.
Or perhaps
I'm-
not.
Ever the optimist, Nora.
I mean, I'm a city girl. I don't know.
If not, perhaps it is because we will get to the bottom of things so quickly.
Let's hope. What were you going to say, Riley?
I was going to say I'm from a small county in Ireland myself. I kind of understand how they think, how having new people around is, especially so many, can be off-putting.
Well, folks aren't very trusting in the city either, to be fair.
Yes, but a few strange faces in the city is far different than a few strange
true.
faces
Nothing new.
in a small town.
That's true. It's all the new.
I look at you, Riley, and I say, what's a strange face?
Something that's someone that wasn't there yesterday or the week before.
I look over
after.
at June and I toast whatever cup
You
of tea.
brought
or
the
what-
dog back in.
Yeah,
Nice.
going with the dog. Toast with June.
Nice. I'll fix June a plate.
Miss Hopper leaves, you come back in.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right, come in, June.
Jesus.
Nice. I'll fix
He's
her a
the
plate.
fucking owner of the house. He didn't kick me out. The lady did.
That's fair.
Edgar didn't stop you and Rosalie from sharing a room either.
We're all
What's
growing.
a little bit of mud when there's sin in the house?
That's
Right.
right. This is par for the course.
There's
When there's sin. Fuck.
Edgar is kind of, cutting some sausage and eating neatly, dabbing at his mouth, when needed. But he says, I suppose you'll want to perhaps look around the the nearby farmlands and sites of some of the unusual happenings today?
Yes. Well, so as far as I can see, there are a couple of things that we can do. We could probably investigate one of the latest attacks if we can see maybe any of the animals that have been attacked the latest. There's talking to Mrs. Thomas's family, and they're the ones who found her as well. There's talking to the townsfolk to see what they might know or hear or think of what's going on. And there was one more that I didn't remember.
What she could be illuminating to go see this old Meg's Holt?
Oh,
Place
yes,
where
that was the
body
last one.
found.
Yes. Old Magus Holt is not too far from here. It's kind of on the some of the outlying farms on the large hill up to the north.
I actually think that's one of the last things that we should do. Just because it would be, I believe, probably the least changed, right?
Agreed. Yeah, probably. I think it'd be best to talk to people first, maybe get some ideas of what they think of old Meg's Holt, too. I had asked if there are any local legends or ideas or superstitions about the place, but, well, Mrs. Hopper wasn't very forthcoming.
What's the name of the
standing stone outside the Holt is Old Meg. It's the center of some local legends about a witch that was turned to stone by Saint Birinus.
Saint Birin, right?
Patron saint of this here church.
What's the name of the person that's hosting us, Amber?
Edgar. Lockerbie.
Edgar. Okay. I turn to Edgar and I ask him, Edgar, this is your home. What is it that you are most unsettled with right now? What do you need help with?
Well, I've been the reverend of this church for a few years now, and don't know that I quite feel like a local yet. But the people have warmed to me, and I like to think that I've gotten to know most of the flock. And he goes quiet for a moment. Before the murder, I would have said that there's not a soul in Brancombe capable of such evil.
And you don't believe that anymore?
Miss Thomas. Well, I don't know if it is a local, but I'm not an expert on animal kills or hunting. I'm not much of an adventurous type myself, but I've heard the adventurous types talk about what they've seen in the sheep and Miss Thomas's body. Her father spoke to me in confession a few days after her death, and don't need to see the body to see what it did to her father.
Mm-hmm.
It's true that we are all capable of evil. Kind of look over at him and I say, where do you suggest we start, Edgar? If you were a man of unlimited resources with no fear, where would you go first?
I would speak to Billy Winchcombe, but he's not here.
Very well.
Tried that.
Do you think his family has any information worth exploring?
They're close. At the very least, they may be able to shed some light on what happened at the Mayfair that upset Daisy so much.
Well, Rosalie and Nora, if nothing else, we know maybe what approach not to take with the sheriff if we're to talk to Billy.
Excellent words, Ronaldo.
I'd be willing to give it a shot.
You would have to ride back into
just
town.
Kind of smirks at that one.
Yeah.
You would have to ride back into town because we have
Yep.
left. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to go try to speak to him, and we can speak to the family.
I think spreading the resources would be the best bet right now. Splitting the party for the DM is always the best thing to do in these situations. Looks at the camera,
Riley,
looks
you
back
should
to
wander off somewhere
everybody
too.
else.
Yeah.
Breaks the third wall. Yeah.
Well, Riley and Rosalie, where is it that you would like to? Rosalie, you said perhaps you would want to talk to the Winchester or the Wincombe family.
I think maybe we can start in town, start by talking to them, and then make our way around and talk to other people whose sheep have been affected. I do not think. I think all of us should go to. If we're going to go see old Meg's Holt, I think all of us should probably go there together.
Agreed.
You're
Yeah,
welcome, Amber.
I don't think we're going there for a while. Yeah.
Yes, no.
Yeah, right. But I think to talk to the townsfolk and do the other things, it's best we spread our resources out. We can get more done that way.
Yeah.
Riley,
Yeah.
what?
Most of the townsfolk will be at their daily labors until evening. They won't really be in the village proper. They'll be in their farmsteads
Farmhands.
and whatnot at their labors.
Okay. Would it be disrespectful to start by talking to Billy's family, Edgar?
Don't think not if you approach with respect.
Oh well, I always do that.
Are they farmers as well?
Yes.
There.
The Winchcombes and the Thomases are both farmers, to the northwest of Brancombe, across the river from each other.
Gotcha. Riley, are you coming with us, or what is it that you would like to explore?
And if there's something else you feel you should go do, Riley, please by no means feel tied to us.
The
If you want to go fuck off, feel free.
the
Yes, Scooby-Doo theme activates. Fuck yeah. Yes.
the all of the farm livestock that has been killed, has it been around the same farms,
No,
or
they're-
has it
they're-
been spread out?
There are various farms at different
There've been
times.
several farms hit, not just the Thomases and Winchcombes, but both of them as well.
That's why I was
Okay, so-
hoping. That's why I was hoping
And-
there's going to be the latest one that's been hit
Yeah,
somewhere.
and it's just because like I'm personally looking at the map right now.
Yeah.
Or maps, because there's the zoomed out. We got a zoomed out one with the big area, and Brancombe is a little just like this
Boop.
little tiny thing. Has there any livestock been killed in this immediate area,
Mm.
or has
Nothing
it
in
been just the
nothing in Brancombe village proper. It's
Okay,
all been in farmsteads. on
all
the
been the
outskirts.
farmsteads on the outsides. Okay, mostly to the north, away from Annonsbury.
To the northwest side of the river.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I was more up to date on the killings, but some of the farmers and perhaps some of the local hunters would be more apprised on the dates and locations of damaged cattle and any wildlife, I would think.
Yeah, I can. Now, Amber, just for us looking at the map, the Brancombe Square,
Indeed.
is that generally, would that be like a farmer's market type of
Yeah,
deal?
the square it hosts farmers markets. Sometimes it's also where they host like village festivals, so that's where the Mayfair kind of
Gotcha.
celebrations and dancing and eating and would have taken place. That's where they'll have sort of village gatherings too, if they're too large to fit into the inn, say. They're
Mhm.
discussing town business sort of thing. Everybody just sort of mobs up and shouts,
Okay.
voices their
Rabble,
opinions.
rabble, 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 rabble.
I think if Ronaldo's going to go back to Annensbury,
Mhm.
and the ladies are going to go up to the Winchcombes. I'm going to stick around Brancombe and try to talk to any. I'll start at the inn. They might be more susceptible to
All
new
of those
faces.
friendly folks that said hi on your morning
Yes,
stroll.
yes. I would very much like to inspect some of the sheep, if there are any, if you happen to know of any that have been attacked recently, and if they have not disposed of them, I would like to see.
I really can't say if
that
the
was-
animals have been.
That was for
Oh, you're
Riley.
talking-
That was for
Oh,
Riley.
okay, so
If
Riley.
he finds any information, if you find any information while you're talking to people in the inn.
Yeah, I'll be mindful to share my findings. I this morning sharing my findings, I did go and inspect by the bridge where that traveler was found, and I couldn't find anything that would have led him to really led to him.
Yeah, it's not a particularly narrow
Falling.
bridge. It's a stone bridge. It's got a wall.
It's fairly wide. Like maybe if it was foggy, he wandered off and fell down, but maybe he because he was found by this bridge, correct?
He was found a little bit farther downstream, like washed up on the shore.
Okay, so it could be that maybe he didn't fall by this bridge. Maybe he was maybe he floated down
Oh, that's a good
river
point.
a bit.
That's a good point.
So
Someone had said though that he had, right?
they're not
They
sure.
speculated, maybe.
They speculated because
That he
they
had fallen
found
on
him
the bridge.
floating by the
Speculation that he fell
river.
off the bridge because of his injuries.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So it could very well be that he floated down the river further, and that could also be why he had reports of frostbite.
Gotcha.
Longer in the water.
Mhm.
So, all right. So, Nora, should we go to the Winchcombe farm first? It seems like it's, looking at the map, it looks like it's kind of far outside of town.
Oh,
But,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at the map, going to the Winchcombes and Ronaldo going back to town looks to be about the same distance.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a hike.
Damn.
Mhm.
These boots were made for walking.
I mean,
Yeah,
Ronaldo
perhaps
will
we can-
probably have a horse. I would
Fuck
assume.
no. I had a
No?
dog. And my feet.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah,
Ronaldo,
buddy.
I will say, we did get the sense that Inspector Banks is holding on quite tightly to this case, and he hasn't let anyone come through, so be clever about it.
I look at you when you say that to me, Nora, and there is a absolute just moment of there's no facade, there's nothing but just pure authenticity in my facial expression and my voice and everything. And I look at you and I really look at your eyes. And when I say this, I say, in my experience, being your authentic self is a great way to get through to other people's sense of reason. And when I say that, it's almost like I'm talking
Supposedly kind of
not just with you, but to you. And then I say, thank you, Nora. I'll keep that in mind.
I completely believe that, Ronaldo, but I get the sense that the inspector might be beyond reason. That is the sense that I get. But I believe you will certainly have more luck than the two of us did.
I think that he's under a lot of pressure to solve this case, and he's very happy that he has a scapegoat to hang it on. And that is why he's shutting out any sorts of voices of reason. You use that as you may.
I look at you when you guys say that and I say, sounds like a man that's backed into a corner. Must be a tough place to be. And I kind of subtly smile when I say that.
Subtle.
Smiley subtle when I say that. Delved too grief and too deedily.
Too brief and too deedly. Okay.
You take care of him, June, and I'll give June some pets if she'll let me.
Oh, she will. Someone's got to keep me in line after all. And I start putting my coat on and getting
I'll
ready.
sneak
for the
June a
walk.
sausage.
Oh, I've been feeding her the whole time too. I
Okay.
made her a
I'll
plate.
sneak her another.
June's gonna get fucking fat around you guys.
I made her a
Just
plate.
I'll be like, sorry you weren't welcome before, friend, and give her some pet set
Yeah.
of sausage.
Yeah. June eats at
Jeez.
the table.
Ronaldo's had a life of not belonging. June's only 2 years old. We gotta pamper her. Fuck you guys.
Everyone's like, you can deal with this, Ronaldo. You're a man.
You're an old
Fuck you.
man. You're
You're an old
fine.
man.
Okay, boomer. Come here,
Deal with
June.
your shit.
Directions.
All right. Was that everything? Are we heading out? Break.
Sunday meat. Yeah. Yes.
Break. Okay. Well, we will meet you soon, Ronaldo.
I will be back, hopefully with good news.
All right. A few of you set to walking, and you're going to be walking for a real long time. So we're going to start with
Is-
Riley.
Hell yeah, brother.
Oh, I mean,
brother.
Actually,
okay.
not that long. The map is pretty small scale. But Riley, you head down to the Shepherd's Rest. It's breakfast time. The Shepherd's Rest is open. The door is actually propped open, letting in some of that clean morning air and whatnot. And it is the village pub. It's built of the golden local limestone that a lot of the stone and more permanent buildings here are. It's got a roof of stone shingles.
Stone shingles.
Kind of walk
That's
in,
nice.
and the first room you walk into is sort of the common room with a tap room. And the innkeeper is behind a counter. Nobody else is in the inn save for an extremely old man sitting by the fire with a mug of something, and he's just sort of rocking and sipping it. The innkeep is... Where did your name go, motherfucker?
Motherfucker, got it.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, the innkeep is he's a tall, broad-shouldered man, probably in his early 50s or so. He's got a round face, a little bit of a pot belly, and like some mutton chop kind of whiskers growing out of the sides there. You enter the bar and he says, like, what can I do for you, stranger? Are you looking for some breakfast?
No, no breakfast. I just had something over at the vicarage.
You must be one of the Reverend's guests.
Yes, we
Talk of the town last night.
hopefully some. Well, I should know better, but hopefully some at least kind words.
Well, that depends on if you're a constable of some sort or not, I suppose.
Despite the thoughts of some of my companions, I am not.
All my friends fucking hate me. I'm Riley. Nice to meet you. Oh, fuck.
And he's like, pull up a seat. What can I get you? Something warm?
Something warm would be good. Had an early start this morning.
You take tea, beer?
Nice warm tea for now.
He goes off to a kettle that's probably kept near boiling at all times, shifts it a little closer to the fire.
But we've heard that you've had some troubles in these parts.
That's one way of putting it. We've lost a young lady. The spring of her years. And terrible business. I imagine that might be why the Reverend brought you in.
Yes, he kind of hopes that some new eyes can bring some light to these cloudy times.
That long is an odd fella. He's kind enough, looks after folk, but still hasn't lost some of his city mannerisms, I'd say.
That'd be true. I will also introduce myself, and I didn't get your name.
I'm Albert. Albert Bradley. This is my inn here.
The Riley will take the tea. He'll drink in silence for a little bit, and he'll ask about to kind of not to really just like get into the subject of darker matters. He wants to ask about the traveler first to kind of broach.
Oh, the fella they fished out of the Annan.
The guy that died that no one cares about. Let's start with light news.
With light news. Well, we aren't entirely sure that he's dead currently. We left when he was dying.
Listen, Riley.
Ronaldo knows, though. Ronaldo knows.
Really, he's dead.
I'm afraid it won't be much. Afraid it won't be much help on the subject. He hadn't stopped by the inn. Hadn't really stopped by anywhere. Folks figured he'd been coming from the north, heading toward the village, and never quite made it.
Yeah. And Riley, obviously not being from around here, he'll ask, what is to the north, up the road?
Oh, it's a couple other villages, similar size to Brancombe, some of it smaller along the way. Not much of note, really.
I guess getting to the heart of it, the vicars told us about all of these attacks on the livestock and such too.
Oh yes, it's been between that and what happened to poor Miss Thomas, it's been the talk of the inn night after night. It's my job to let folks gossip and vent and talk about their sorrows, but getting a little bit old hearing about mutilated sheep. Nasty business.
Yeah, the Reverend has mentioned that it could be that people think it could be wolves back in the area.
There's no wolves in the area. Hasn't been a wolf around here in 200-300 years.
Well,
seems to be what most of the constable's cases were resting on. That there are no animals in the area that could have done such horrors to poor Miss Thomas. Had to be a man.
Yes, we before arriving
in, bunch of malarkey, if you ask me.
Before arriving in, we tried. Some of my compatriots tried to speak with the young boy that's being held up back in Ansbury.
They got Billy locked down tight, almost like they don't want him saying something or talking to his folks or anybody here. They're afraid of what he might say.
Yeah, that's
haven't let his pa see him. Haven't let his ma see him. Haven't even let the vicar see him. What kind of man keeps an accused away from a man of God?
Not that I'm correct, but maybe a man who wants to
hide something.
Not hide, I'd say, but maybe keep things low. Not get everyone's fears raised up.
Folks are fearing and riling all on their own. Come by during dinner time, you'll see it.
That is unfortunately one of the things of keeping things silent.
Another man walks into the tavern at this point. skinny guy, really sharp cheekbones, kind of messy dark hair. He's got a sack, a little bit of blood soaking through it, kind of slung over his back, and he sort of like stops in his tracks when he sees you. And Albert looks over your shoulder and he's like, It's all right, Tom. Bring him over here. He ain't a constable, ain't any of the brass from Emmonsbury. And young man kind of walks up to the bar and puts the sack on the bar. And Albert, still kind of paying attention to you, Riley, just sort of like opens the sack, glances inside it. Says, oh, small take this time. And Tom says, game's getting scarce. Whatever's doing to
What
the
was that
sheep,
name?
Tom. Whatever's doing to the sheep's got the small game on the run. And Albert goes to the till and takes out some money and hands it over to Tom.
Young man, about my age.
He's probably in his 30s.
He's a little older than
Neither young
me,
nor
so-
old. Our age.
Riley just look over and it's like, he'll ask him, what do you think has been scaring away all the small game?
Not any wolves, that's for sure.
From the trying to remember things.
What are you trying to
what's
remember?
known and not. I'm just trying to remember what because I know the doctor
He thought it was a
tried
bear. He
thought it
like,
was a
"It's
bear."
a bear.
Said there were lots of like
big gouges and stuff, so bigger than a
wolf, yeah, or a cat.
bigger than a wolf.
But
I'm just Riley is just trying to make sure because like I know that he tried telling the sheriff constable that what he thought. I don't know if that has spread outward, if he has told anybody else.
About the suspicions. Yes, you
About
would
the
know.
suspicions.
They did not.
Probably
they did
not,
say.
probably not because the doctor is way back in Annisbury.
Yes.
Yeah, he probably only talked to the inspector.
The inspector, okay, and tried getting him to report to him. Okay.
That's the sense that I got.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been any wolves, any sign of whatnot. Granted, I've just been in town for less than a day now.
Weren't no animal local to the area that I'm sure of.
But you believe it still be an animal?
If it's an animal, it ain't any animal I've ever seen nor seen any leavings of. Yeah, it kind of gives you a little kind of look up and down, looks at your shoes, sort of, and then looks back to Albert and just sort of gives him a nod and heads toward the door.
I'll as he's heading out the door, I'll shout to him. Tell him, name's Riley, by the way. Me and some other folks will probably be in town for a bit, staying with the vicar.
Yep, vicar's guests. Heard you were coming. He keeps going.
Yep.
Rosalie and Nora. You are trekking along the road. Now I have to look at the map myself. Not
It's like
that
it's
map. The other
not
map.
super far, but far enough that it's a walk.
Yeah, you're heading out of Brancombe into like the sort of hilly farmlands.
And it looks like we have to go over the bridge in question, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, crossing the little stone bridge. God, I've scrolled too far. I'm getting sick. Forgive me, everyone.
You're getting sick?
Yes. My eyes are burning. My nose is a watering. All right.
No idea what you said, Troy.
Sick of this crime.
All right, you're sticking to the road. You cross the little stone bridge and you're heading out into the countryside. The road sort of follows along the River Spore, a small little offshoot of the larger Annan River. And there's just sort of rolling grazeland hills, essentially, scraggly trees here and there. Big old rocks once in a while. None of them look particularly none of them look like man-made or anything like that you see. Just rocks dropped by glaciers or whatever ages past. Little stacked stone walls here and there partitioning off different farmers' graze lands. You see some flocks of roving sheep as you pass. You're not really sure where exactly the Thomas Farm and Winchcombe Farm is, other than they are on opposite sides of this little River Spore River, and they are to the north-ish west of Annonsbury, of Brancombe. So
that's okay. We're headed just to farms.
About,
yeah.
If you're walking along the road, you'll pass somebody with a cart, bringing in some baskets of apples.
Yeah. We'll
apples in June.
I don't know when apples grow. Fuck you guys.
She just doesn't.
Amber, they grow in the
she
fall.
just doesn't know.
Crab apples. I don't know.
No, they could be bringing in like I don't know, fucking turkeys or geese. They're herding geese.
Herding geese, yes, with a stick. And they're gonna geese.
Canadian geese.
Yes, we'll ask for directions if you happen to know which way the Winchcombe Farm is.
Winchcombe. Here.
They sort of look at you for a minute and immediately decide you're not cops.
Oh no, absolutely not. Canadian.
That be that farm over yonder. And he just sort of like points to the west.
Oh, thank you so much. If I could trouble you to ask who was in the Winchcombe family? We never actually did ask who, like what.
What you asking after the Winchcombes for? Them folks have been having a hard enough time. They don't need no strangers bringing no sorrows to their door.
No sorrows. Hopefully, we're trying to figure out what's happened here. We've been brought in to figure out what's happened and hopefully get their boy free.
You reporter folks from London?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
The press.
Nora fucking slaps Rosalie.
I'm not sure if it's of much help. I'm actually a magician, but that's...
It's far worse.
I'm here to help, though.
I'm going to need you to make some sort of test here to not be like a weirdo.
Close combat.
Have they heard of me if I drop the combat. Extraordinary Eleanor? Probably not here.
On his face, the deepening of the furrow in this man's brow as you go on indicates no.
Ronaldo just told me to be my authentic self, and here we go.
Rosalie's going to step in here. All right. And maybe, I don't know if I could use manipulation. No. Maybe manipulation is manipulation specifically to try to like fast talk or lie to someone, or can you just also be just telling them the truth?
Manipulation can also be
it's just to influence.
How to make friends and influence people.
So I'm going to do just that. Which what I am going to say is that
no, I mean I didn't need you to, but
we are friends of Edgar's, and we have he reached out to us to come and see what we can do to help the family.
Roll.
Go ahead, Rosalie.
Sorry, Rosalie just jumps in sometimes.
Yes, I understand.
2 6s.
Nice.
2 6s. All right. He seems those furrows in the brow smooth a little bit as he looks at you now as two nice young ladies that have been brought in to, just spread some kindness and understanding among these poor folks. If the Reverend trusts you, it's good enough for him. And he says, "Oh, right, yeah, it's been hard times in Brancombe, hard times.
So
Reverend's
we've heard.
good people. The Winchcombe farm is over yonder, like I said. It's David and Matilda, and Mr. and Mrs. of the farm. And they've got 3 boys and a little girl. His son Billy's, and sure you've heard he's in Annonsbury right now in jail.
Yeah. We tried to speak with him with no luck. But it seems he hasn't been able to speak to anyone.
Fixing to have him hung. Excuse my language.
No, we could tell.
No offense taken. It's terrible.
Those people in Annonsbury, they think they're better than the folks in Brancombe, better than the hardworking folks who got dirt under their nails and sweat on their brows, and they don't care none for a young lad with his whole future ahead of him.
Yeah, we're hoping to change that. We're hoping to figure out what's going on here.
Well, Billy's a good boy.
Yeah.
Daisy was a good lass, too.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would think that he had done this.
Because it's easy.
Exactly. Well,
you seem like nice folks, not looking to stir up no ruckus or nothing. David and Matilda will likely be at the farm and at their chores, but you'll find them that way.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
do
you so
everything
much.
we can to help. And your name was?
Brian.
Brian.
Yeah, I didn't ask any. It wasn't important.
Fair enough.
Brian Adams.
Brian Gooseherd.
Gooseherd.
That could even be his last name.
That's true. That's true.
Brian Gooseherd.
Brian
Olden times.
Gooseherd.
Olden times.
He's like, well, you stick to the road till you see the farmstead nice and clear. There's something no good going on in the countryside. You girls stay safe.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
And he starts swatting his geese again. Honk, 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 honk.
Honk, honk, honk.
Yeah, it's pronounced Brian Honk.
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 Brian Goose herds his gooses. His geese back toward Brancombe.
Wow, there's a sentence.
Easy enough to find now that the farmstead in particular has been pointed out over the other little settlements kind of dotting the side. Winchcombe Farm is one of the larger ones this side of the Annons, of the Annan River.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you. I just felt that perhaps him knowing that we were here by invite of the local.
Sure, I was getting there, but
Yeah.
I mean, you jumped in.
Well, I'm sorry. Sometimes I do. It's a habit.
Seems like you do it a lot, not just
I'm
sometimes.
used to having to do almost everything by myself. So.
Well, you're not by yourself right now.
I know. I'll try to remember that.
Perhaps try harder.
Noted.
Shots fired. Hot damn.
Damn.
All right, we're gonna hop over to Ronaldo for. Oh, if you're still chatting, we can finish the scene on the road.
Nope, I think that was it. Did you have anything else?
Try harder.
Okay.
Excellent.
I think that was it.
All right, Ronaldo, your boots
That's
were made
me.
for walking, and you and June, with your determined and steady pace, make your way toward Annonsbury. It is more lively than Brancombe, having more people and buildings and horses and wagons and stuff in general. So there's some sound coming from it as you approach. Several smokestacks floating into the air, noises of industry going about. And you stroll on in and you don't catch quite as many looks as some of our friends in Brancombe did, as you're not as immediately apparent as a stranger, what with a population higher than like 4.
And have a giant fucking dog by my side. As
But you
I
recognize the buildings in the main drag from your arrival the night before.
Right. As I start getting closer to town and kind of the ambient noise starts to become present, Ronaldo something starts to happen to Ronaldo. He brings his hand up to his head and he holds his head and he kind of winces, and you can tell that he's either in pain or distressed or something is going on. And he stops walking for just a minute and he looks around quickly, almost like he has a sense of worry over his face. And he starts taking a couple of deep breaths.
Sir?
And the vision around his peripheral vision starts to kind of blur. And his head, he just has this pounding headache that comes out of nowhere. And he just kind of calls for June to come over to him and just kind of starts holding on to June.
As you're huddled there and the pain is reaching that keening ring that's like splitting your ears, reverberating off the inside of your skull, and you've got your arms wrapped around June's like strong, lean body, your head tucked against her warm fur. It reaches that peaking crescendo. Your eyes water, your nose burns with the pain. And then just as quickly and loud as it comes on, it cuts off. It drops down really, 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 really fast. And you hear like, sir, you become aware that there's a hand on your shoulder.
I look up really quickly and all of a sudden my bearings come back into view, just boom, just like that. And I kind of, so I'm startled, but I also realize what is happening, and I'm on the ground and I look up at the person and I say,
it's a constable, young constable. He's got dark skin, short cut, dark hair, and he looks concerned. He's got a expression like, "Sir, you all right? Do you need help?"
Thank you. He looks a little embarrassed, honestly. He has a moment of embarrassment wash over him, this older gentleman, on the ground, and he stands up without taking a hand offered or anything like that, and he looks at the young constable and he says, I'm sorry, sir. He just kind of smiles and doesn't really give an explanation. He doesn't have one.
Do you want to take a seat for a few minutes and catch your breath?
No, I feel much better right now. Sir, I was hoping to make it to talk to the sheriff, but I'm not, or the inspector, but I'm not from around here, and I was hoping maybe you could take me there.
Is something wrong? Is something happened?
Yes, I do believe there's something wrong and something has happened.
He takes a minute and sort of looks around you again he's just doing a quick scan for suspicious people, things, stuff, and then his eyes come back to you.
I look at him after he's done scanning and I say, I'm safe. We're safe. Nothing like that.
All right. The inspector's very, very busy these days, but I'm sure someone at the station can take a report. You been robbed or accosted, sir?
I kind of put my head down when he says that, and it's a very subtle and like nuanced gesture, but I look back up and then I again give him that kind of warm, disarming smile, and I say, no, nothing of the sort.
It's like, all right, well, it's just a short couple blocks this way. I'll show you to it. I'm Constable Moore.
Moore. My name's Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, you right this way. And he waits till you fall into step with him, and he asks, you didn't mention where you were from. You're from out of town.
It's a harder question to answer than you might think. I'm from many places. I don't really have a place I call home.
You looking to move to the country?
Maybe someday, perhaps.
Beautiful dog.
Thank you. This is June. Where are my manners? I didn't introduce her. She's my most loyal companion and trusted friend.
He's like, got a dog myself at home. Not much for work, but she's good company.
There's something to be said for that, isn't there?
I noticed you were coming from the north. You passed through Brancombe by any chance last night or this morning?
I did, yes. Small, very small town. Not a whole lot to see there, but yes, that's where I was coming from, actually.
And he's like, right. Heading up there myself. They've been having a bit of trouble. Make sure folks are all right.
You know, we need more people like you, more people that look after each other, make sure they're okay.
Just happy to do my job. And at this point, you can see the police station in view, and Constable Moore kind of escorts you inside. There's another constable. Yes. There's a sergeant sitting at the bench, at the little bench there. Sergeant Jack.
Sergeant Jack. I give Constable Moore when he walks me in, I give him like a handshake, a firm handshake, and I just say, I thank you.
He's like, you're welcome, sir. Did you need me to stick around? You ready to file a report or anything, or?
I think I've got it from here. Constable Moore, thank you for your help.
Says, right.
You take care of that dog now, you hear?
I will. He turns to the sergeant at the desk and he says, Sergeant Worrell, this is Ronaldo. Saw him on the road this morning. Seems to be having a bit of trouble. Thinks he might be filing a report. He's having a hard morning. And Sergeant Jack kind of looks at Constable Moore for a minute, like, what is this kid on again? Like, it's like it's like a not again look, like, Jesus, kid, why are you bringing this guy in here, sort of thing. But he nods and he's like, all right, we'll take care of him. And then Constable Moore just gives him like a nod and he says, hope your day starts looking up, Mr. Ronaldo.
Thank you.
And he heads back out. And Sergeant Jack watches him go. Waits 1 breath, 2 breaths, and then looks at you like with an instant suspicion. Like he's not buying any of this. And he's like, what can I do for you, sir?
I look at him and I say, I want to say that Constable Moore was a really big help to me today. And he's a real boon to your community.
Yep, he's a favorite. You having some trouble? Need to make a report about an incident or anything?
Well, Sergeant, what was his last name?
Worrell.
Sergeant Worrell, I'm afraid I am having a bit of trouble right now. But no report that needs to be filed. You see, I need to speak with Billy.
And he just immediately, he's like, oh, this shit again. One of these motherfuckers. He's like, I will tell you what I have told all the reporters and nosy Nellies that have come snooping around here. The investigation is ongoing. The inspector is handling it. He is very busy. He does not need to be disturbed. And young Mr. Winchcombe is not taking any visitors at this time.
I look to him and I say, Sergeant, I appreciate what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying. I really do. And I can only imagine that you are overwhelmed right now with an influx of people that have questions and strangers and ulterior motives, and you're trying to do your job and protect your community. And I commend you for that. And I say, but Sergeant, I'm not a reporter. I'm not a nosy Nelly. And I'm not here to give the inspector more work. I know he's busy. I know he's probably overwhelmed, honestly. But I assure you that it's really, really important that I get to talk to Billy. I pause for a minute, kind of. I'm short. I don't know what to say. I'm getting a little bit not frustrated, but you can tell that this experience right now is a little overwhelming for Ronaldo. And he takes a minute and he just really looks at the sergeant. And I want to see what I can glean about the sergeant. I look at his hands. I look at his face. I look at him and see what I can maybe tell about him. You know, maybe make a check or of some kind.
Indeed. Go ahead and make an...
So this would either be vigilance, investigation, or observation.
We'll take observation for this one.
Okay. In that case, I'm rolling 6 dice. I got 1 6.
All right. Take a moment. Really look at this man. His uniform is neat and it is tidy. Cares about his appearance, and from that, it's easy to deduce he probably cares somewhat for his station. He's got dark circles under his eyes. His hair is a little bit of a mess, as if he's run his fingers through it a few times, perhaps over the course of a very long night. There are 2 empty mugs on the desk next to him. He's probably coming off of a long shift here.
Do I get the smell of coffee or tea in the air, or perhaps something stronger?
No distinct smells. Whatever it is not particularly strong smelling. His shoulders are tense and he's bouncing his leg, despite the fact that he seems to have been here for a while. He's kind of on edge, maybe a little restless. He doesn't look like he enjoys manning the desk, but he is here nevertheless. The tightness around his eyes and at the corners of his mouth belie that he, while he is doing his damnedest to turn everybody away here, he is genuinely frustrated with questions and requests to see Billy Winchcombe. You get the impression you are the next in a long, long line of people who have been bothering him and his colleagues about this for quite some time.
Sure.
So that's kind of what you gather there. He's a sergeant, so he's worked here for some time. He's a little older, probably in his 40s. He doesn't look like he's easily shaken. And he looks like sort of everything, even everything about you is been here, done that. He's seen this before, sort of thing.
Okay.
That may lead him to make assumptions, and maybe not be quite so astute to situations because he's so certain that it is more of the usual sort of thing.
Sure. I will. I'll take a minute after I say those things. I'll give him a minute to process and respond. Like as I'm taking him in, as I'm observing him, I'm giving him an opportunity to respond.
I'll have you make a manipulation test for your little speech.
Okay.
Say.
I'm also, if this plays into the role playing, I'm gonna ask him if I can take a seat because I'm very tired.
He says, well, I'm tired too, and I'm not I'm tired too, and I'm not yet determined enough to get out of my own chair to throw you out, so I suppose.
Perhaps we can sit together. And I kind of chuckle a little bit at that. 1, 2. I got 2 6s.
All right. You take a seat.
I wish 5s counted, dude. I got 3 5s, 2 6s, and a 1. I wish 5s counted. That would have been fucking sick.
2 sixes. 2 6s is pretty good.
2 sexes is better, though.
You take the seat and sort of resting your tired bones, and Sergeant Worrell leans back in his chair for a few moments, sort of resting his tired bones, and one tired guy to another, you sort of look at each other. And in this moment, a little bit of that tension eases from his shoulders.
I'll take this opportunity as the tension eases from his shoulders, and I'll say, Sergeant, what is it that you want? Your uniform is clean pressed, and you obviously have a title, and you've earned respect, and you've probably been here for a while, and this is your home. Why do you do this? Why do you sit at this desk, even though it haggers you and makes you tired? Why do you talk to people with inquiries like me? Why do you do this? What is it that you hope to find or hope to get?
If I'm being perfectly candid with you, Mr. Ronaldo, sitting at this desk because the inspector has stationed me at this desk because some of my younger colleagues are not quite up to snuff, turning away the nosy and obnoxious masses and reporters that have been sniffing around here of late, and I am, unfortunately, the man for the job.
I'll smile at that.
But
and
you're not a reporter.
I am not a reporter. And I look at him and I say, I appreciate your candor, Sergeant. I think a lot of I guess I don't like to make assumptions, Sergeant. In the years that I've been here for, I've seen a lot of things, and I try to be curious about things, and a lot of times that leads me to see things I didn't see before. But I do know one thing. I don't know Billy, and I don't know this town like you do. But I know what it's like for someone to feel like they're backed into a corner, and to feel isolated, and to feel desperate. And if you are interested in finding the truth behind what is happening, you won't get it from a man that's backed into a corner, and that's desperate, and that feels isolated. And this is why I'm asking you, Sergeant, for permission to talk to Billy. And if you can't grant that permission, I understand. You're doing your job and you're doing it well. But if you can ask the inspector, that's all I can ask of you. And if you can't do those things, Sergeant, I will leave without bothering you further. But I have to try.
Sort of lets that request sit in the air for a minute. And you can see the conflict playing out in the muscles of his jaw as he sort of mulls it over. And he says, "You don't know Billy Winchcombe. So why are you here? You're not a reporter. You don't know the kid. So what business is he of yours?"
I look at him and I say, Sergeant, honestly, the reason why I'm here is because I know what it's like to be that person that's desperate, that has nobody there to turn to. And if I had been given this opportunity, I think my hand subconsciously goes to the chain around my neck. And I say, I think things might have been different. And I kind of swallow hard. And I look at him and I say, but I'm here because I believe in the ability to help each other, just like you do, which is why you're in your station. And I think I can help the people of this town. And I think the way that we do that is by finding the truth.
He grabs one of his empty mugs, looks into the bottom of it, and he gets up. And he goes back through a door. Puffing the whole way, like
Old man noises. Heard that.
Old man noises.
I look at June while he's gone and I say, no howling now, you hear?
She just sort of kind of looks at you, makes a little whine. Her tail thumps a couple times. And about 5 minutes later, Jack returns, and behind him is another man. He's a stocky, red-haired man, shorter than Sergeant Jack is. He's got suit, bowler hat, well-groomed mustache, and he comes, kind of strides right around Jack as Jack returns to his post, and just looks at you for a moment, and you can tell you're not what he expected. Whatever he expected, you weren't it.
I let him take me in all of my glory.
And he looks at June. He says, "Dog stays here." Inspector Banks, let's make this quick.
Inspector Banks?
Banks. Yep. Robert Banks.
Is that the head inspector?
Yes,
Yeah,
that
this
is
is the
him. You
dude.
were
Inspector
talking to
leading
him.
the case.
Okay.
You were talking to him.
I look at June, I turn around, and I get like on my knees and get in front of her. I mean, she's huge, right? So she's probably face level when I get on my knees.
Yeah.
But I pat her on the head and I say, "It's going to be all right, June. Just stay here. I'll be back." And
Jack
I get
says,
up and
"I'll watch the dog."
she'll keep you good company, as good as any.
And Inspector Banks kind of nods back and leads the way to what appears to be like his office. Down a short little hallway, couple doors in it, and he opens up one of the doors and he's like, "Have a seat, Mr. Ronaldo.
I'll take a seat.
You wouldn't happen to be one of the guests of the vicar down in Brancombe, would you?"
I am.
Thought that might be the case when Sergeant Worrell came in here talking about some missionary do-gooder looking to talk to the condemned boy.
Missionary do-gooder. I kind of laugh at that. And I guess I just kind of nod my head in, I don't know, resignment.
He takes a
Not
seat.
willing to argue the point.
He takes a seat at the desk and says, "Well, let's cut to the chase. Busy man. There's a lot on my mind, a lot on everybody's minds these days. Young Mr. Winchcombe is being held on some very, very serious charges. Murder, in fact, of a young woman. I'm sure you know this. He does not yet have a trial date set. It'll be at least a week. Until he goes to trial, there's not much can be done. I'm still working on the case, still gathering evidence, I'm still talking to folks. I've got some of my best men out there, boots on the ground, still talking to folks, seeing if anybody's seeing anything else. We're being as thorough as we can. But, in my expert opinion, having done this for many, many years, it is almost always the husband, the boyfriend, the lover."
Inspector, I look at him and I say, "What do you see when you look at me?"
Honestly, man hard on his luck. Probably done some hard things with that hard luck.
You might be right. You might not be right. In my experience, Inspector, it's the willingness to be wrong, the willingness to be right. It's the willingness to listen to the truth. And I think that's why you're working so hard. But I don't want to put words in your mouth. So I want to ask you, Inspector, why is it that you're doing what you're doing? Why are you working so hard? It's obviously draining on you and your men. It's a heavy burden to carry. Why do you do the things that you do right now?
He looks directly into your eyes and he says, "Because I have never seen anything like the body of young Miss Daisy Thomas."
Are you looking for justice?
Looking
Are
to
you
make sure
afraid?
this doesn't happen to any more girls. Any more anyone.
Inspector, if that boy that you're holding in that cell did this, then only he has the truth. Only he has the truth. And unfortunately, that young and poor girl that's not here anymore, that can't tell her tale. If he did not do this, he still has the truth. I'll concede to your with credit coming your way, you are good at what you do. And I'm sure you've seen many things, and I know just as well as anybody else that a lot of times the thing that makes the most sense is often what is the case. But I have done some things and I have been hard on my luck. But that just means that I know even more intimately the experience and what Billy is going through right now. And if you're looking for that truth, and if you're looking for the answers that you're seeking, you're not going to find it from a man that has no hope. You're not going to find it from a man that's desperate, with his back against the wall in a cage, alone. And I can tell you that with certainty. Let me talk to the boy.
Bold of you to assume that what done this is a man.
Maybe it's something more. If that's the case, Inspector, why is Billy in a cage?
A lot of things that aren't men look like him. Or so in the city. I worked in London for years before I came out to Annonsbury, Gloucestershire. Hoping to stop seeing the things I seen in London.
I look at him and I kind of rub my eyes a little bit, and that buzzing sound starts coming into my head again a little bit. And I look at him and I say, Inspector, I don't think you ever stop seeing those things. And I look at him in a way to try to make that connection. The things that you have seen, I see too. And it's kind of a curse. And I say,
check.
Make a manipulation check?
Yep. Give us another manipulation test here.
Oh, shit.
If you fail, you can always push, remember.
I did fail. I rolled 7 dice. I didn't get any success. So I am going to push right now.
You'll take a mental condition.
Or physical, right?
Nope. This is a mental roll, so you would choose.
With the skill that you used.
And they don't have to be in the order, right?
No, they don't
you
have
get
to
to
be in
choose
order,
one
and
of
they
the
don't have to be
three.
Exactly that either. Like, it doesn't. Those are like kind of like guidelines for it. Like,
This makes
you're picking
perfect
a
sense.
realm of mental discomfort, sort of.
This makes perfect sense for the character and also for what I'm pushing for. I'm going to check hopeless because so much is riding on this.
Talking about
so
darkness
personal.
here, the depths of the human.
It's so personal to me. I have been in this position before. So if I don't get this, hopelessness, right? Or even if I do get it, hopelessness.
Yeah, it's weighing upon you.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking 3 successes, guys.
Yeah, buddy.
Worth it. Nice.
Totally
Fuck,
worth it.
dude.
Wow, I
He
cannot
holds
believe.
your gaze in that moment. And though you can't quite see behind each other's eyes, you imagine that the own terrible things you've seen, your young daughter's lifeless body in your arms, and others, mirror what the inspector must be seeing behind his own eyes right now. That body of Daisy Thomas, something you can only imagine. And he nods slowly, and he goes, all right, missionary do-gooder. I'll let you talk to the Winchcombe boy.
Nice.
Okay, we can pan to somebody else now. I need a minute to come. I didn't think I'd get this far. I didn't plan for this.
That was ripping, Troy. That was really, really good.
That was
bro.
really great, Troy.
Fantastic.
Fuck.
Riley O'Day is gone, so Nora and Rosalie, you are approaching the Winchcombe farm.
So we have those words, and we were like, Rosalie's been like icily cold since then because I said noted. And as we approach the home, I'm just like, this one's yours, Nora. Then I'll just fade to the background.
Well, that's not what I'm suggesting either, Rosalie. Simply say that we work together instead of stepping on each other.
Deal.
You are noticed as you approach the farm by a couple boys.
Really
Young
quickly,
men
though,
out in the field in front of the farmstead.
Amber, though, before we continue on this, do we want to do the giveaway now? Just because it's like 9 o'clock?
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
I haven't been
Let's do the
hydrating enough. I
giveaway.
don't have to pee, but we'll do the giveaway.
Yeah, just because I have to pee.
If you'd really like.
Amber's like,
Okay,
I
she's
will
the first one.
sacrifice.
Jess is breaking the seal. We can do the giveaway.
I broke the seal, but it was too early.
Kent is breaking the seal now.
It's it. The seal has been broken. So here's the deal. We have people in chat. If you obviously all of us are not eligible. So if you want a free copy of Treasures of Garantha 2 by Austin Conrad, who we have here in chat. Say you do in chat. We'll gather y'all. And,
Type a 1.
Type a 1 in chat. We'll gather the numbers, and then I will roll. Hopefully, we have something that's divisible by at least 10, because I have the John Tian's die
Yes.
Special
here
die.
Yes.
that I will roll. So we got Raz Fox. All right, so that's 1. Raz.
Good to see you,
Kung Fu
Raz
Fenris,
Fox.
Sunday Meat.
Yeah, good
All
to
right.
see you, Raz.
So we got Raz.
I'm going to
Kung
take this
Fu.
opportunity to polish off my beverage because I'm going to need it for more intense role playing.
Sunday Meat, Cernibus. So that's 4. Right? Do I have everyone? Raz, Kung Fu Fenris, Sunday Meat, Gilris. I missed. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either one, Sunday Meat. I got you. Don't worry. Keep Bliss, you're ineligible. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
So 5.
Get the fuck out of here.
We got 5 so far, which I can make work with the 20. So who else? Anyone else? Anyone else?
Do we have 6? Do we have anyone fucking up the D20?
No, 5 is fine because I can just do every 1 to 4, 4 to 8. That's divisible enough. You know what occurs to me? We haven't happened to you. So I guess what will happen is if you win this, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. If we win this, you reach out, email us with your information, your drive-through RPG email. If you have one, I'll get that to Austin, and we'll get it to you. Yeah. All right. You know what? We could do D6. I really want to roll John's dice, though. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to disregard everything that's telling me I should roll a D6 because I want to roll this in memoriam of our friend who has passed, John. So he had these dice at his wake, which was so awesome. So that'll happen to mine. No, actually not. I'm going to be buried with all my dice. Fuck you people. So
You're going to be buried in your dice.
yes, I'm going to actually have a
You're
dice coffin. My sarcophagus will be dice. That's what I want. So Raz Fox is going to be 1 of 4. Kung Fu Fenris is going to be 8 to 12.
Oh, nice.
Sunday Me 13 to 16. No, I
Nice.
got 5 people. I can't do this. Wait. 1,
Okay.
2, 3,
You
4,
should
5.
roll
How am
one.
I so stupid? I'm going to do that. I really wanted to do John's. I'm going to roll it
Do-
anyway, just because I do.
Yeah,
I
Do
rolled a
1, 2,
1.
3, 4, 5, then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just count them over again.
Yeah.
Well, I got 5 people. I can do 1d6, and on the 6, I just re-roll it. That's
Yeah,
all.
exactly.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. All right, so I rolled a 6, so I got to re-roll it. That's interesting.
Put the 6 down and then
2.
just roll John's dice into it. And whatever the 6
It's
lands
Kung Fu
on.
Fenris. Kung Fu Fenris.
Okay.
The free copy.
Hey,
That's awesome.
It was Kung Fu
Kung Fu
fighting.
copy.
winner,
Yeah, there we
winner.
So Kung Fu Fenris, what
Nice.
I'm going to ask you to
Honestly,
do
kinda perfect.
is email us. Email me at dmsafterdark@gmail.com, and then get me your drive-through RPG email address. I will get that to Austin, and you will get your free copy of Treasures of Glorantha.
Yes, congrats. Congrats,
Austin
Kung
wants
Fu.
to give more than one away, but we discussed one, but I'll leave that up to him.
Gosh, you're calling Austin out.
We'll give you till
Jeez.
the end of the session to think about it.
Jeez. Jeez.
No, it's up to him. But if he wants to give more than one away, he can. But that's the one. So Kung Fu, yeah, awesome. So he's going to use it right now in an active campaign. There is a lot of good
Yeah.
stuff in it, dude. Trust me. Particularly the vows is really, really cool. Like I cannot wait to use the vows and the breath, which I've talked about a bunch of times. But like Kymrese is just going to take the breath and do like stupid shit with it.
Yes.
Yeah. Austin says he feels like he needs to come up with an incentive for a second. All right, man. What are you thinking?
Oh, snap. Austin's still here. That's awesome. Honestly, Kung Fu Fenris is pretty perfect just because, like, they're already, like, in RuneQuest.
At gmail.com. Yep. DMsAfterDark@gmail.com. Kung Fu Fenris. I just have to do something stupid in the game. Well, I mean, like,
yes.
I'm about to just be my character, so that qualifies.
Yes. I love that so much. Honestly, hey, I'm gonna be real with you right now. If that ploy didn't work, I was gonna resort to violence and say, man, what
Really?
could get me thrown? What could get me thrown in a cell
Into
with
jail?
this boy?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
how many
I
cells could they
mean-
possibly
Yeah.
have?
Yeah, maybe assaulting the.
You
Oh
just,
my
you just
God.
stand up
The
and you just
inspector.
drop your
Yeah.
pants in front of the inspector, and he's just like, cell just closes.
Well, I'm glad this method worked. That was great, Troy.
Me too,
No,
because
dude,
Ronaldo
Troy,
did
like,
not want to
I-
actually go rounds with
Yeah,
anybody.
I know.
Honestly,
He would,
any
but
guy,
he
if
doesn't
anyone could
want
have
to.
done it, it would have been Ronaldo, bro.
you
So,
seen
We'll never know.
Old fucking coal mining motherfucker.
Have you seen the reel where like the big bad evil guy's like, you have no instrument, Bard, and then he drops his pants, and then you just hear slap, 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 slap. It's so good. I have to send it to you guys. That's,
yes,
and the music
please
going
do.
is like violent. It's like, and then it's like the barbarian. They're like,
It's like
and the wizard. Everybody's like, oh no. The
Five
voice
Guys
is like,
bathroom noises. Yeah.
I have to send it to you. It's so fucking funny.
The old skin flute. Love it. Shillelagh law.
Topic.
Oh, God. All right. So, all right.
Okay. Yes.
Giveaway is done.
Nice.
Let's go be
Good
stupid,
job.
Jess.
All right.
Nora
Let's
and
get
Rosalie.
stupid.
Oh, I'll be stupid. You just do your thing.
As you
I'm a
approach the farm,
magician.
a couple young men in the
I'm a
fields
magician.
take note of your approach.
Mm.
Put down their various farming implements and whatnot, and they like head over towards the road, the fence at the end of the cropland they were working
Hello there.
to see what's going on. As you get closer, you see these are very young men. They are teenagers.
These must be the chillins. The
I was gonna
boys.
say,
They're
are
like,
you, perhaps are you
Morning?
the Winchcombe boys?
yeah, I'm Tom, and this is my brother.
Oh my God, there's so
Martin.
many Toms. Holy crap!
There's two Toms.
Yeah.
I'm Tom, and this is my brother Martin.
Nice to meet you. I'm Nora. This is Rosalie. We're
Charmed.
we're friends of Edgar Longby. He had sent for us. We were hoping to speak to your parents. Or
Friends of the Reverend
yes, crap. Tom and who?
Tom and Martin.
Martin. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Pa's out back in the farm, and Ma's probably round in the garden. We'll go. I'll go. And the older one's like, go find Pa. He's like, okay, I'll go get Pa. Bring him to the house. The older boy, Martin, is like, come with me, Mrs. We can get you a glass of water or some tea.
Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. Thank you.
And he kind of pulls off some kind of rough work gloves and leaves them on the fence and leads you toward the farmstead. The younger boy is like off jogging toward the farm in the distance, the barn in the distance.
We're so sorry to hear about what happened. We're hoping we can offer some help. See your brother goes free.
Billy didn't do nothing, and anybody who says so is a liar.
I'm sorry. He's just a southerner. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Amber.
I know,
It's
and they
just
just say I'm like
he's just a
rural
southerner.
Alabama.
Have you ever had
Billy didn't
yourself
do
a
nothing.
sweet potato
I
pie?
can't. You're in the Alabama, the UK. I just, oh god.
Time
Oh,
for
so
some
like
sweet
eggs
potato pie.
count as chickens here?
Yeah.
Never mind. A little political commentary.
Fuck,
No,
I'm
that's
so bad at accents, everybody. My sincerest apologies.
no. You're doing
No,
great,
you're
Amber.
doing
You're
great,
doing
Amber.
you're doing
the
really
only one
great,
who didn't
Amber.
fucking
It's just-
trying, bro.
Yeah, you're doing
good.
great, Amber.
No sense. I mean, Christian's evil guys were German.
I mean,
That's literally Christian's default accent. He hides
I'm
it.
also
He's a
German
lich.
and evil, so it's like
He is a lich.
Fair.
Yes.
Fair.
Like when people are surprised Hugh Laurie's British, it's the same shit.
He leads you to the farmstead. Kind of leads you into the front door. And he's like, please have a seat. I'll go fetch my mom. Put a kettle on.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You and the Reverend think you can help with Billy?
We're certainly going to try. We definitely hope so. A lot of people seem to think that he didn't do it, and I think we're amongst them as we hear more. It seemed to be some kind of animal, not anything a human could do.
That's what we think too.
Yeah.
I'll go fetch Ma.
Thank you.
He kind of hurries that back, and he leaves you alone in his kitchen for a little while. It's a nice kitchen. You can tell that like a family lives here. There's a lot of knitted and quilted like little placemats and things. There's some whittled toys, some kind of hand built pottery here and there. An assortment of pans and cooking utensils hanging above the oven. There's some fresh flowers in a vase on the windowsill. It's cozy. It's homey. The dining table is big. Chairs cluttered all around it for a family of Jesus. Six. Six.
Yeah.
But it seems, it's rustic. Just about everything here is handmade. But it's nice. It's homey. Takes 2 minutes before Martin is back with a woman in tow. She sort of steps in. Her hair is in a very messy bun, dark hair, curly. Bits of it are escaping. She's got a apron on, smudged with some dirt. She's obviously been working in the garden this morning.
Hmm.
And she says, pardon the appearance of everything. I wasn't expecting visitors. And she goes to the stove and like quickly sets a kettle on.
Oh, thank you. You don't have to go through too much trouble. We just wanted to talk a little bit and we'll be on our way.
No, please. Any friend of the Reverend is a friend of ours. I'm Matilda.
Nice to meet you, Matilda. I'm Nora.
Rosalie.
Rosalie, right. You're friends of the Reverend. Martin said that you think you can help get Billy out of jail?
We'd like to try and figure out what's going on here, and I don't believe that Billy was the one who did this. I don't see how he could.
He didn't. Anybody who's known him for more than a week would tell you that he would never do such a thing. All my boys are good boys.
And your little girl.
Yes, well, don't know where she's off to right now, but she's a daisy.
No. What can you tell us about that day? The what was it? The May?
The Mayfair.
All of them, I guess. The Mayfair, yes.
I love this town, and I love most of the people in this town, but there's a lot of people with loose jaws, and they get to flapping, loose tongues, and they get to flapping at the slightest little thing. That's what happens when people get bored around here. But Mayfair, big festival. You can imagine all the excitement. Weather's getting nice. It's a big deal for a little town like Brancombe. It's lots of dancing and eating and just celebrating the easy times ahead before, things get harder for the winter. Billy goes to the Mayfair with his sweetheart, Daisy, every year. And this year was supposed to be the same, but his cousin was in from out of town and he was doing his duty escorting her to the Mayfair.
Hmm.
And I don't know. It seems like Daisy had a misunderstanding and got upset and sort of ran off before anybody could clear it up. And then everybody in the town started gossiping. Like, nobody's ever had a cousin from out of town come and visit. Suddenly, Jenny is some harlot mistress from who knows where. And there's all of this just nonsense going on. They're kids. They're all kids. They're sweet kids. It was nothing like that. I just wish Daisy had never run off. If she'd stayed around for even 10 more minutes, it would have been so easy to clear up. But that's the last time anybody saw her. Alive.
And then what happened?
Well, the whole village went out looking for her when she didn't come home that night. They didn't find her. And the next day, more organized, folks went out and different directions, covered different plots of land, different farmsteads and whatnot. David and all my boys, Billy included, went out searching too. They searched for 3 days. And, well, I heard she was found by old Meg's Holt. And, I heard it was terrible.
That's what I've heard as well.
But Billy was around the whole time. Dozens and dozens of folks saw him at the Mayfair. He stayed with Jenny after she ran off. He didn't follow her. That's what we told that bloody inspector and all of his constables that come nosing around here. So we've told him. That's what others have told him. The neighbors, hell, even friends of the Thomases. Told him all the same. Everybody's seen him.
Yeah.
The inspector doesn't seem to care. He doesn't want to hear any of it.
Yeah.
He just wants his man behind bars.
Yeah. The inspector thinks he has his guy.
So he can move on to pushing more pencils around or whatever it is that brings him joy. People are saying Billy's gonna hang.
It's what we're hoping to stop.
I don't know what I don't know what you think you can do or prove, but if there's anything you need.
Have you folks experienced any of the strange animal attacks around here? Or the cold that's been kind of blowing through that we've been hearing about?
Yeah, there've been some sheep killed
Did you have any of that here?
in the northern pasture. Oh yes. A couple of our neighbors too. It's been happening every night or two.
Every night or two? That frequently?
Different farms. They only killed 2 of ours, but they hit the neighbors 2 nights later. Them. I don't know. I know it's not Billy.
Did they just go missing? Do you find the sheep again?
Oh no,
or?
they're bodies. Something's killed them.
Savaged bodies?
Looked like some wild beast on it, David said.
Eaten?
And at this point, Tom kind of comes into the kitchen from the front door, and older man, broad shoulders, real big strong arms, clearly a laborer, comes in after him. He looks a lot like his sons. You can assume it is David, and he says, part of him eaten.
Part of him eaten?
Yeah, went at some of the organs and such. Whatever it was.
Okay. That's very strange. I mean, I can't really think of anything else. Rosalie, is there anything?
I'm curious, and I know this might be a painful question to ask, but during the search, from what I know about the local geography, this old Meg's Holt near where Daisy was found, I mean, it seems like it's far out of town, but it doesn't seem like it's that far. And you were searching for 3 days. Was it an area that was searched a few times, or did it take 3 days to get there to find her?
I really can't say. I wasn't searching that area.
That's
that was
fair.
left to her folks and some of their farm hands.
Okay.
God. Damn it. I wish Fred was a friend for a long time, and then I don't wish what happened to his poor girl on anyone, but I do wish Fred had spoken up a little bit louder when they hauled my boy away.
Does he think it was Billy?
grieving man will think anything that'll bring his heart a little bit of peace, I suppose.
Yeah.
And you can see on especially the boys' faces, like their expressions harden a little bit. There's some resentment there toward Fred. You some kind of investigators.
Yeah, we're from London. We look into some things that can't be explained, usually. We try to explain them.
Well, I suppose we'll take any folks with an open mind at this point. Seems like the sheriff and all his folks have made up their mind.
One of our friends has gone to try to speak to them again. He's
I
very
hope they
persuasive.
have some luck talking sense. When talk doesn't settle things around here, folks resort to other means. I'm not going to let my boy hang for something he didn't do. You hear?
I do.
None of us will stand for it. This village will not stand for it.
Well, it's good to know Billy still has people on his side.
Out here, family's all you got.
That sounds nice.
Sometimes it is.
Well, we won't take up too much of your time. Thank you for the information. Bosley, you didn't have anything else, did you?
I do not know.
Okay. Well, we won't take up too much of your time. We'll head out, and we'll let you know if we find anything.
And I'll just, as we stand, take particularly the mom's hands and be like, just say to her, we will do everything in our power. And I'll look at David and I'll look at her to make sure that nothing bad happens to your boy.
It's been enough death.
There has.
She nods and gives your hand like a little squeeze.
Yeah. Hey, hand squeezing. All right. Okay. Well, we won't take up any more of your time. Well, we're off. We'll leave. Yeah.
Martin and Tom, go escort these young ladies to the main road. Make sure they make it there safe. Yes, pal. And the boys sort of head off with you to walk down like the sort of long farm drive back to the main road where you're like inside of the village. They kind of trudge along. They're quiet, a little bit awkward. You can tell they're sort of in their heads a bit. Their demeanor's pretty grim.
Boys, before we leave, may I ask, is there anything that you can add to what your parents have told us? Anything at all? Even if it's something that you feel that maybe your parents would be mad if they knew, but, well, anything could help your brother at this point in time.
Even the insignificant, yeah.
The younger boy, Tom, goes. Fields where the sheep are killed. Looks like witchcraft. And then the older boy, Martin, is like, Tom, please.
No, please. What do you
No
mean?
witchcraft. It's a bear or something, some sort of big animal. Maybe a escaped circus animal or something. There's an explanation for it.
No, I mean, are the bodies found in a certain place? The sheep?
The grass is dead. Whole bunch of it in a ring.
Are these new?
It happened at the other farms too, where the other sheep are killed.
They are new. Okay, they're not
Tom
the same
Halsey
place.
said so. In the tavern.
And
Yes.
you lost some sheep in your north pasture?
Yeah. Martin's like, you folks are real scared is all. Everybody's got some sort of old wives' tale or other about witches or the devil, and it's none of that, though. We're all good God-fearing folk.
I'm sure you are.
There's no witches in Brancombe.
Still,
There's no
though,
witches anywhere because witches ain't real. And he sort of like glares at his little brother.
Still, though, I think I would. I don't look at Rosalie. Look at Nora and be like, I think it would be interesting to see. I know the sheep have probably been laid to rest, but just see the area where it happened.
I mean, something killed the grass.
A little voice at this point calls out from behind you guys a ways, like behind like a tree or a fence post or something. Daisy believed in witches.
Daisy believed in witches?
And get back to the house. You're supposed to be with Mom helping her in the garden. And the older boy Martin like turns around and there's a little girl kind of peeking out from behind a fence post. And he's like, get back to the house right now.
No. It's okay. I'd like to hear more.
He's like, no. She's not supposed to be talking to strangers or bothering adults on important business or none of that. Go make flower crowns for the festival.
Get back to work, you child slave.
Well, it's not a bother, but it would be interesting
And
to
she
know.
just sort of like gets like this mean little pout. Like when she's just like, you're not the boss of me.
It would be curious to hear what Daisy might have thought. Go ahead, Rosalie.
No, that's just what I was going to say.
I ain't saying that I believe in witches. I'm just saying Daisy believed in witches.
Well, what do you mean when you say that?
Daisy was talking about the witch stone, the big rock by old Meg's Holt, old Meg.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say
Said
about
that
it?
she was a witch. The stone was a witch. Got turned into a stone by Saint Biren. And Martin's like, yep, Saint Biren, whose
That's the
festival's
old
coming up
legend.
and you're
Yep.
supposed to be making flower crowns for.
Do you
and
know?
she's like, I can make flower crowns faster than anybody else. I'll get all the flower crowns done. I can talk to the pretty ladies.
Oh, thank you, dear. Do you know? Now, that the stone is that close to Daisy's property? Because they're the Thomas farm, right?
She's like, it's
Yes.
it's by their farm on the big hill. Everybody
Interesting.
knows
And
it.
Did Daisy used to visit it, or just talked about it?
Daisy used to visit it. Yeah, she used to say that it wasn't scary. We don't
Did-
really go there because, witches are bad luck
Scary.
and all.
Of course, yes.
Did
You know,
did
wandering
Daisy?
the countryside, if your hands get idle to do the devil's work.
Indeed.
He's like, flower crowns keep hands from being idle. And he goes over and he
looks at planner. It's completely empty. Indeed.
Martin kind of makes a grab for her, and she like jukes out of the way.
I love this kid.
I know she's great.
Little kids are always the best RPG characters.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you very much. I think that's important information, don't you?
It is. I agree. Did Daisy ever say why she thought the rock was a witch, other than the legends?
Daisy used to say that witches were just women that wouldn't let men tell them what to do. And that old Meg was one of those ladies, and that she was actually kind of cool and wasn't in league with the devil and all that, and just had an independent mind.
An independent
Is what she used to
mind.
say.
She doesn't sound that bad, does she, Nora?
No, she does not.
But
Oh
she's
God,
dead.
I agree with her.
Down with the patriarchy.
But she is dead now. Yeah.
And the feast of Saint Bjorn, when is that?
Oh, it's on Sunday.
What day is
Sunday's
today?
like 3
Oh, okay.
from now.
We have 3
We'll all
days
be
to solve
dead by
this,
then.
guys. We have 3 days to solve this, or the shit is going to hit the absolute fucking fan. Yeah.
Exactly. We'll all be dead by then. It's fine.
Maybe.
All right, Anne. Thank you. You've been very helpful for the investigators from London.
Yes. Thank you, Anne.
She's like, okay, if you have any more questions, come and ask me.
Here, dear, I want you to have something. And I looking through my sketch pad for one of my lesser scandalous pictures, and I'm actually gonna give
Anything
her,
child appropriate without
which is
genitalia.
few and far between. So what I wind up having to do is I have a very inappropriate one. I'm not letting the boys see this stuff, and I just kind of like tear the edge off of one where it's just like a little fairy, and I like fold it up. Like, this
Aw.
is for you, dear.
She's like, oh,
Thank
I
you.
know these. This is the goodly folk. They dance around the hills and the barrows
That they
under
do.
the full moon.
That they do.
Never supposed
That
to
they
go
do.
there under the full moon. If you catch them dancing, you'll get sucked in, you know.
I've know a thing or two about dancing myself. Yes. So I want you to keep that.
Martin's
Thank
like,
you so
those
much.
are just stories for children, which you are. He's like, they're not actually true.
He's like, that is a Christian god. Loads into Wicker Man.
Yeah, looks sidelong at the boobies on the fairy picture.
And he's like, thank the nice lady for the gift. Thank you, nice lady. He's like,
you're welcome,
and
dear.
now you go run along to mom and the flower crowns right now. It's like that I don't have to tell her that you were interrupting us talking. And she just kind of looks at him again, like she like runs off.
Aw, she's a delight.
Reminds me a little bit of myself.
Oh dear.
Not even at that age, just myself.
Oh dear.
Just right now.
Well, I like
We
this
found
little
the
girl.
leader of our rebellion.
Wow, Jess. Wow.
Martin's like, sorry about that. That's Anne. She's
No, she's
Oh, no.
she's lovely.
She is a delight.
Yes, she's lovely.
she is. I think she misses Billy.
I'm sure you all do.
You got him out of jail, all right?
We're gonna try.
We'll do our best.
Getting real sick of doing his chores.
We'll tell him that one if we ever see him.
All right. Well, stick together and be safe.
We will. Thank you.
Thank you, you too.
Sort of take a couple steps backwards, give you a little wave. And
We'll head
Head
off
off.
down the road. Once we're out of earshot of them, I
Rosalind.
think that I'm starting to get a little bit of an idea, at least, of what could have happened. At least from Daisy's point of view. There's a misunderstanding with her boyfriend. He's with a girl that it's curious that she wouldn't know that his cousin was coming into town. But be that as it may, she could have even just gotten upset with other people beginning to tell tales.
Mhm.
She goes to the Witchstone. I think what we need to find out is how much she believed in these things or was caught up in them. Maybe she was going to the Witchstone to ask for something.
Maybe.
And
Maybe.
maybe she got an answer she didn't want.
Maybe. That doesn't feel quite right, though.
She definitely was upset and ran there, though.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that much. She definitely
So
went there.
I think it's important we do get there eventually, but I don't think only the two of us should go.
No, I agree. And I think you're right along the right lines. Like the Stonehenge is close to the Thomas's farm. It's curious that it took 3 days to find her.
Well, sometimes that's why I asked that question about if they had searched that area. I'd still like to know that answer because sometimes people show up in places they're not supposed to be, or in times,
Yeah.
well, sometimes they disappear for a while.
Yeah. Well,
And they show up where you least expect them.
should we head back or should we wait for Riley to kind of meet us here?
We're still in town, right?
Riley's still in town. Yep.
Was the plan that he was going to join us eventually?
I thought we were going to go to Old Meg's Holt together.
You
I'm
were.
not
You
doing
did
that
not really
without
establish
Ronaldo.
where you're going to meet before doing that together, but
Yeah.
you can have done so if you would like to agree meta-wise now what you were supposed to do.
Why don't we meet? Let's say we were going to meet back at the tavern. That makes sense. And
Okay.
and that would hopefully give Ronaldo time to join up too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
Meanwhile, back at the tavern, Riley, Tom Pausley is headed out. You are almost to the bottom of your cup of tea there. No one else has come in during breakfast time. Just the barkeep who's kind of keeping you company all on his own right now, and the old man by the fire, just nursing that mug of whatever he's drinking this early in the morning. And a woman comes like running into the inn. She like bursts through the open door and she says, "Please, please help! My Emily is missing! Someone stole from her bed last night! Help! Help!" And she just like yells in the inn, and then she runs back out and she's just like screaming frantically, like, "Help! Help! Something's taken Emily! It's taking my daughter!" And the barkeep like grabs a shotgun out from under the bar and just like runs outside.
Fuck yeah, dude. Remington in action.
Oh, Kent, I think you're muted.
Shit, that's real not good.
Come on, Riley O'Day. Time to kick some ass, take some names.
It's good and bad because
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, but I did not think that would happen.
oh my god,
Good thing.
I just saw the South Park thing, Troy. Kaz, man, the big fat witch is a big fat witch is a big old witch. Well, was a witch, was a witch, witch is a big fucking witch.
I am glad that I had the I muted my headset because I took my headset up to the bathroom so I could listen to the thing that was going on, and I'm glad that I muted it.
Nice.
Just in case, because it was my microphone was going through my headset, not my actual microphone that I have right here.
Explosive shits, guys.
I was like, did you just say you took your headset into the bathroom with you?
Yeah, so I can listen.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
That's dedication.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
he doesn't want to lose any clues or anything.
That's fair. That's fair.
Clues are everything. Yes, Riley is going to follow the barkeep out.
A small crowd is already gathering. People just nearby have dropped whatever they're doing, and they're running up. And they're like, Michelle, calm down. What do you mean Emily's missing? And she says, "My daughter is not in her bed. She was not in her bed this morning. The window was torn off. It took my daughter." And she's like, please, get everyone you can. We have to find her. We have to find her before night. And they're like, okay. And then a couple guys are like, grab their buddies, and they're like, go to this farm, get all the available hands. And people are just fucking running around and shit, grabbing pitchforks, just going crazy. And Michelle is just broken down, like sobbing.
I will I will go over to her and just like I will ask, is like, can you show me your home? I know they're off to search, but maybe I can, and I know I should have no right being an outsider to this community, but
please help find my daughter. She's 8 years old.
I had a youngin taken myself, so anything I can do, I will help.
I'm up over that hill over here. It's just me and her. Her pa died 3 years ago. It's just us. She's all I have in this world. Albert is like Gaffer, the inn is yours. And you just hear not like a from the fire, just a and Albert goes with you, following Michelle along. Michelle just starts running.
I'll make my way to her home to see. I'll definitely.
Along the way, a couple other townsfolk sort of fall in with you with the mob.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is Tom Pawsley. He just sort of comes out of nowhere, and he falls in with the crowd, heading to her farm. She's not far outside of town. She's just on the other side of the river, over like a little hill, much closer than the Winchcombe or Thomas farm.
Across the river as well?
Yep, it is. It is across the river. It's on the northern side of that little Spore River.
Okay.
So yeah.
Like underneath the Thomas farm?
Yeah, see that like circle hill that's underneath the Thomas farm? It's like on the southern side of that circle.
Okay.
is where
Do
her
we,
little farmstead
do
is.
we
And this is
see
a
these
small,
people-
small farmstead.
Yes.
Do we see this happening, Amber? Like as we're making our way back to town?
You know what? Yeah, they would have walked you at least all the way to the intersection. You would have made it across the river up there. So you certainly see a group of people, little bit far to make out that they're all armed and stuff, but they're holding things. And they are kind of heading up the road and then diverging from the road, heading toward one of the little farmsteads in a cluster, in a hurry. There is a ruckus.
Something's going on, yes.
We'd better hurry and pick up our pace and head in there.
Yeah.
All right, you probably managed to catch up with the crowd that is headed toward Michelle's little farmstead about as they're arriving there. So you sort of come running up the dirt path and you pick out Riley among the crowd of just armed villagers, the hysterical mother crying, and she runs like right around to the backside of the house where sure enough though a window has been like torn completely out of the frame. The wood is all splintered, the shutters are torn clear off, they're just discarded on the ground. A curtain is just sort of blowing listlessly in the breeze. And she says, like, I talked to her in at night. She always sleeps soundly. She's such a good girl. And then in the morning when I called her for breakfast, she didn't come. And I went in and she wasn't in her bed. And I found the window like this. And she's gone. She's gone. And they're like, one of the women in the crowd sort of like goes over to Michelle. And they're like, please, like, come inside, sit down. We're going to find your daughter. Everybody's going to start looking. Tom's a good tracker. He's going to find her. And the menfolk start, they've all trampled all over everything, and then they sort of realize it, and they're like, oh, shit. And they're sort of back away from the window and start walking with more intention around looking for tracks at this point.
Riley would, before everyone starts gathering around this window, like he would definitely he would try and be like, hey, we'll hold up, like,
yeah, skills.
Like, whoa, don't crowd it.
Yep.
Sort of thing. They'll hold up a large degree of the trampling at that point. In time for you to see some evidence there by the window, if you would so like to make.
Yes, I would indeed.
Is that an investigation, Amber?
That is investigation, yes.
Yeah.
Of course. Make a force check. Can't physically force them out of the way.
I'm going to just try to observe like the window frame itself to see if there are
look for any claw marks.
Like
Yeah.
Rosalie just
Riley sort of
intentionally
looking around
disregards
the frame and the dirt and stuff for tracks and things, and you just sort of sidle off toward one of the discarded shutters and pieces of the windows and start looking at it. No check needed on the wooden shutters. There's like two distinct places where they're like completely crushed through, like hand-sized chunks are kind of broken.
Hand-sized? Like human hand-sized?
Like if you were to...
Yeah, I understand.
If you were big and you were to grab the window, like that would be a place that somebody who is larger than yourself would comfortably put their hands to pull.
I'm going to feel the shutters.
It was the old man at the jail.
They are not cold.
Okay.
You do notice, actually, while looking for it though, you'll notice that there are some like flowers underneath the window there, like in the little like kind of garden bed, and they're all sort of drooped over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Riley had something?
Riley, how'd you do?
I got one success, and very much so. If that isn't quite enough, Riley would 100% push for extra successes with this.
That's enough. So there are some tracks in the soft kind of garden bed soil underneath the window. They are quite large. They are not like any animal tracks you've ever seen before. They look like bare human feet almost, except there's big indentations where like claws would be near the toes. It's really, really freaking weird looking. At first you see like the big claw marks and you're like, bear. And then you look like the narrowness and the sort of like length of the track and you're like, person.
Riley will call, what was it, Tom Paisley?
Tom Pawsley.
Pawsley.
Bosley.
Pawsley.
Pawsley.
That was the hunter, right?
Over the one that he was kind of identified in the group as a tracker, the one that I assume was
You had
the
met
one
before,
that came
yeah.
into the.
Who brought the
He's
game?
the one that came in with the bag full of game.
Yep. He's gonna wave him over and be like, hey, what do you think of these?
He comes over and he looks at them for a moment and he just goes still and he says, "It's just like at the farms with the sheep."
Mm-hmm.
These the
Never seen anything like it before.
yeah, too big to be human, but not quite big enough to be any sort of animal.
The toes there? Those are claws or something meant to look like them.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think I've ever seen any. Now, most animals are either four clawed.
Yeah, any predatory animal in this area, even the ones that have been extinct for hundreds of years due to hunting, would be four-legged animals.
No,
I meant toes, claws.
Yeah, toes.
Toes. Yes.
So yeah, like because the only thing that would conceivably
bears have five.
Bears do have
Think of the
five.
bears.
Four.
I think bears.
They have 4 claws though, and like they have like a little like
Yes.
back thing, kind of like But like if you look at their prints,
Yeah, there you go.
It's 4
like
toes.
that.
That's 5.
Yeah.
It's 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I was like,
Okay.
bears have 5.
Bears have 5.
I'm wrong.
Bears have
I
5.
thought
Yeah,
there was
bears.
4. Okay.
Bears
thought there was
don't have
4 too.
their
Hmm.
They don't have
fifth
a
toe
dew
is
claw?
not high up on their leg like a dew claw, like it is like
Most
cats
other-
and,
yeah,
dogs.
yeah.
you're a cat. Yeah.
Oh.
But
Yeah, it is a 5-digited track with 5
5.
claws. You're like bear, person, foot. It's just
Yeah.
like
Anytime like Riley could have ever seen a bear, like this is way too narrow to be a bear.
it is
Way too narrow,
Indeed.
way too long.
We need Locke, Jess.
Oh yeah, bear facts. Well, unfortunately and fortunately, this town has done this search recently, so you already have an organized plan. Those who aren't kind of expert hunters and trackers should probably get to it. No one should kind of search alone. Someone should also send word to the inspector if ever there was evidence that Billy didn't do this, too, in such a recent time. That's pretty good evidence.
Complete random in the crowd sort of spits and says like, "Fuck the inspector. We take care of our own."
You do take care of your own, but unfortunately the inspector is holding on to Billy.
He ain't gonna do nothing but drag one of these fine folks off again if we bring him in here. And then there's some murmuring in the crowd and they're like, "Yeah, no, like we'll start searching. Don't nobody go to the inspector."
Mm-hmm.
And then people start clustering off. They're meeting up. More people are filtering in from the town. They've caught wind. They're sort of congregating here, and they're starting to group up. They're like, "Oh, hey, like Jim,
Yes, yeah. They've organized
Kevin.
before.
Yeah.
we'll go back
Spread
to
the
the
word.
farm and search the west." And they start going off into small groups.
Totally fine. Because
Before-
go ahead.
Before Tom, well, look, go ahead, Jess, because I'm going to be asking something else.
I was just gonna say I can't track. I can't search for things.
Okay.
So I can go talk to
that
the
note-
vicar and go talk to the inspector.
On that note,
Go ahead.
Riley was going to kind of confer with
Thomas.
Tom and kind of see it's like, oh, where do you think these tracks are headed off to? Which
He says, "Well, there were dead sheep and tracks at the Thomas farm, then at the Winchcombe farm, then at the Smith farm, the Sampsons, now here. This is the closest it's gotten to Brancombe."
But where are they going from here? Like which, if we can
Direction.
find some more, yes. If we can find.
So the track. So he sort of moves away from the folks and does like a perimeter. Starts picking around. If anybody wants to make investigation checks too, to also like pick up the trail in a
I will help with
cleaner
that.
area. You may do so.
Yeah, Rosalie's not doing that.
3 successes.
Nice.
Hell yeah!
This is the
you
game
find
where Kent is a successful hunter.
No bees this time.
No bees this time. The cold will scare them all away.
We've got something here. Hello.
Hello?
Second. So much stuff. You pick up, so the trail is strangely broken. Like the ground is pretty soft, and should hold tracks relatively easily, especially with such large claws. But they're very intermittently found. And you do manage, as you're kind of making a wider radius with Tom outside of the area, you pick up a couple of the strange clawed tracks again. They're heading sort of northeastish, away from Michelle's little farmstead.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go ahead a ways, you pick up like a couple more, like a partial. They're very sparse though. It's not an easy trail to follow, and it takes like a lot of combing back and forth. They don't make sense. They're not falling in like an easy rhyme or reason. There's not really like much of a stride to it. It looks like the tracks kind of appear when the creature stops, maybe for a while, almost. But you definitely find at least a couple of the tracks, and the toes are pointed in that sort of northeastern direction.
Nora, what are you doing? Because I'm going to say like Rosalie has kind of since there's the announcement of a missing little girl in the search, she's like oddly been very quiet and kind of disassociated. So she will just pretty much mutely go along with whatever you do.
I mean, my plan was probably to go to the Victor and probably go talk to the inspector to let him know that some sort of creature has taken a little girl. Like the creature attacks that were attacking the sheep, it's one thing for him to write that off, but if another girl has been taken.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was kind of what I was thinking anyway. But I mean, if you go do that, Rosalie will just agree and go with you.
Yeah, I'm probably going to stop by and send word to the vicar first, and then try and head into town.
We could possibly get his horse and carriage to take us.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I don't remember whose wagon it was, but if we could get that. I'm
pretty sure it was his. But yeah, Rosalie will just be like, a couple times as you're like walking there, she'll like kind of stops and like looks off in the distance at the search parties you can see in the distance. And she seems very like out of it for now.
Are you okay, Riley? Do you need anything before we head out?
Oh, thank you, dear. No,
Riley.
I was just going to
say. Thanks for asking as you step in front of Riley.
Yeah, sorry. No, I'm sorry.
I was just
all these
going
are
to say
names: Riley, Rosalie, Ronaldo. God damn it.
Rosalie totally would be like, no, I'm fine, even though you're talking to someone else. Stuff. But yeah.
Perfect.
If you're going to get Ronaldo, like it might be best if to get back as soon as we can, because these tracks, as far as I know, and I'll just look towards Tom and ask him, it's like these seem to be almost heading up to the Holt, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
That looks it, unless it changes direction. Riley, you are standing amid a swath of very wilted, shriveled grass, blackened, where the footprints are. It's a swath about 6 feet wide.
And the footprints are like kind of almost in the middle.
Yep.
Can I find anything else in this circle? Was this an area that had a sheep attack?
This is still near Michelle's like farmstead. She doesn't keep
Yep.
livestock.
Okay.
And
so
this is the closest attack to Brancombe, so there haven't been any sheep attacks in this area.
At this point, those of you who are still near-ish Michelle's actual like farmstead, you hear a voice. What's going on here? Everybody, calm down. What's going on, folks? And there was a constable coming up the road.
Is this the Moor dude that Ronaldo had met on his way?
He's going into a little bit of a jog, coming over, and everybody's like, and you just feel the atmosphere take a hostile turn. Tensions are really high. Everybody's very upset. Little girl's missing, and then this constable comes running up here, and they're like, motherfucker. They seem like ready to start bashing the police. Everybody turns around, a couple guys step forward, and they're like, this is town business, ain't none of your business. You turn back around and go back to Annensbury. And he's like, settle down, folks. I'm here to help. Everybody's upset. What's happened? And they're like, you folks keep coming in here and taking away our youth. Dragging them up, jailing innocent folks. We ain't telling you nothing. Get out of here. And things are looking tense.
Riot.
Rosie's like, police.
Rosalie throws a soup can.
Drops an acorn.
Drops an acorn. Fuck.
Oh fuck, dude.
Riley, you're pretty sharp right now and onto things. So though you're a bit away from the farmstead, you do notice it's more like you sense the shift in like the quality of sound from the crowd, and that's what makes you look in that direction. And though it's a little distance away, you can tell that there's a constable standing facing the crowd, which is sort of like closing ranks a bit and yelling at him. You and Tom are far enough away that you could just keep going and probably wouldn't be noticed if you wanted, though.
Just don't go searching alone.
Yeah.
So do we
I
look at Nora and do we diffuse this?
I mean, possibly. I mean, we can just escort the constable. It seems like the townspeople want him to leave. We can just escort the nice constable right back out of town.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
The constable right now is like, listen, the investigation is still underway. The force of Annensbury are not judges. We're not juries. We're not executioners. We're just gathering evidence. And he's just trying to like cut things out there, like gathering evidence, kidnapping children.
So do we get that this guy's name was Moore?
No, we didn't.
No,
we did not. I was just asking if that was him, but we did not know.
Constable.
He is a young, dark-skinned man with short-cut, dark hair.
Okay,
They're gonna kill the good one.
There we go.
Constable. What? I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
He's you're like coming up and talking to him, but you're not like gripping a weapon and yelling at him. So all of his attention is like mostly still on other people. And he's like, I'm Constable Moore from Annensbury. There seems to be a problem. I'm not here to arrest anyone.
If I may, I'm not one to tell you your business, but it feels that you might be in over your head here, and perhaps you could escort 2 young ladies back to Annensbury, where we would like to find our friend and perhaps talk to the inspector.
He kind of looks directly at you for the first time now. He's like, you know what's going on over here?
It's something probably best perhaps discussed where heads are calmer.
You're not going to be...
You're one of the vicar's guests.
Yes.
He's like, right, you folks just send word if you need help. And they're like, fuck off. He's like, okay. And he seems to read the room and take a little sense here, and he kind of backs away, and
he's not going to
walk with you all back toward town, kind of looking over his shoulder here and there, and he's like, this is a search party. What are they searching for?
Another girl who's missing.
Another girl?
Yes. You're holding someone who's innocent.
They when did she go missing? How long has she been missing?
Just this morning.
With creature tracks near the entryway.
Something large and clawed.
Like a bear?
Like an animal.
Unusual bear.
Tore the hinges off the windows off and took her.
He's like, I got to get back to Annensbury. I got to tell the inspector. Maybe get some folks up for the search.
Wise choice.
I think perhaps that would be best to help the people at this point in time. Tensions are high.
He's like, right, let's go. Do you think the vicar will let us use his carriage?
I think he could, yes.
We hope to pick up one of our friends in town too.
Starts to jog.
Yeah, well,
I mean, yeah, little girl's gone missing.
Pick up my skirts and hustle along with him.
All right. You find folks start jogging back toward Brancombe, heading towards the vicarage, hoping to possibly borrow a carriage. Riley, you have a choice. Where are you headed?
I think against his better judgment, or the better judgment, Riley would, if Tom Pausley would allow, he would help him try to find more tracks to see if we can find this little girl any faster.
All right. You and Tom start heading off toward Old Meg's Holt. Keeping a weather eye as you go. Your journey is made a little bit easier by the fact that the tracks, though very sparse and intermittent, are always framed by swaths of dead vegetation or dying vegetation. At first, it's patches of wilted grass here and there, and then that stops for some time until you start up the hill to the Holt itself, and there's a swath of blackened grass upon the hill. It's dry to the touch. It's been dead for days, as opposed to the wilted swaths that look like they were flash killed recently that you have been seeing before. Tom Pausley is quiet. He's a quiet man, looking around, always looking at things, everything. He's getting more and more nervous as you get closer and closer to the Holt. You can just read it in his body, in the tension in the nerves of him. And as you kind of start partway up the base there, he sort of stops and he says, "That's where Daisy was found, up there."
Do you know if was the grass like this when she was found?
I wasn't among the ones who found her. I haven't been this way myself since.
How far does the dead grass come down from the Holt?
There's a swath of dead grass down from the Holt that is like burning a path down the side of it all the way to the bottom. Like a carpet of death that has been rolled out from the top of the Holt.
Just kind of like a path that's
about 6 feet wide.
Yeah.
About as wide as a man is tall.
And we're not quite to that path yet, right?
Nope, you're looking at it. You're at the base and you're kind of looking at it. You're not heading like straight up the path. You just kind of see it going down kind of side face to you guys.
Okay.
You said it's old grass, old dead grass.
Yes, this grass is like, it's like black. It's like completely dead. The other patches that Riley had been noticing they're darker. They're like shocked and wilted. But they
flash
haven't
froze?
turned black yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're more like that brown.
Yeah, like the dark green of like, fuck, I'm dead. I've like all my cell vessels have burst suddenly, but I haven't yet lost my color. All my cell vessels, all my cells have burst. Fuck.
My cell vessels.
I mean, they are. That still
Yeah.
works.
Riley, do you think there's another dead girl up there?
Let's hope not. And Riley is going to. Riley does have a revolver that he does keep on him. He's going to pull that out and he's going to start up that path.
Fuck yeah.
Tom
Ken.
swings
You're
the like hunting rifle off. It's not anything impressive. It's for small game, but he swings it off his shoulder.
surprised.
And you head up the hill to the Holt.
Along the way, are there tracks along this blackened path?
Yes, if you veer your own path closer to the blackened path, you will see for the first time an unbroken like trail of tracks headed down the Holt, not back up it, just down.
Mm-hmm. Just okay.
But you head up to the top of the Holt, and it is, we're going into our closing scene here for the night. You're at near the top of the hill. There's like a little kind of level area before the very top of the hill. And at that little level area, it's mostly raw earth and kind of like rocky scree as opposed to plant matter. The kind of little like more plants that have been blooming here and there, the little flowers, little thistles and stuff, they're all dead, flattened, completely wilted over. But in that rocky scree, there's a huge, like, deep hole. It's like about 1.5 feet or so deep, easily 3 or 4 meters in diameter. Just this hole in the ground. And behind the hole, backed into that mound of the hill, is the mouth of a cave. Tom sort of stops in his tracks behind you a few steps and says, "Shit, it's gone."
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
I'll
The stone's gone, Jess.
Yeah.
turn
right
back
there.
to him.
No,
I'll
I
ask. Like,
understand.
Yeah.
what's gone?
Old Meg. She's gone. And he's looking right at that big hole. And that is where we will leave it tonight.
Nice.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Shit.
Well, good news is Billy is innocent.
I made a joke in the chat.
Silver lining. We've proven that. Well, we haven't.
I made a joke in the chat when the little girl went missing. I was like, pans back to Ronaldo, walks into the cell, sees Billy holding a baby.
He's
fuck.
He's got the baby like what's the Gustav Dorf
Billy's
painting
just
of
eating an
Satan
8-year-old in
eating
the
his-
cellar.
Just eating the child. Good job, Amber.
All right, folks.
Good.
Things are escalating. The
Yes, they
ticker is ticking down.
Yes, they did. We have 3 days. Yeah, Kent is in danger. We've got 3 days to stop this shit for sure, because it's the Feast of St. Buren is like the town is probably dead at that point if we don't do anything with us in it. So, but
Thanks.
Riley, feel free to go. Feel free to go explore first, Riley.
Yeah.
Riley, you go into the cave first.
Yeah, scout the cave. Scout the cave, Riley. Let us know.
Fuck.
Oh, Riley's body parts.
Fuck.
Wow, that was perfect.
God, that was really good.
perfect.
That's a local auto parts commercial down here in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word for word, too. That really fits.
That's perfect.
I know. I'm very good at what I do.
Yeah.
You are good at what you do, Troy. I saw your whole thing with sheep and you in the chat.
Yes.
I
Okay.
have missed
Good
everything
stuff.
in the chat. I looked in it once and I saw the fake beard names. The red-breasted
Oh, I'm
tank
talking
gobbler.
about the.
Oh, that
and
was-
then
that
I
was
clicked
chat.
it and didn't look back.
Yeah, that was probably good. That was a good idea. That's what I always used to do in RuneQuest because I was like, it is better than I
I'm just
don't
scrolling
know.
up and I
Yep.
just, as scrolling, foreskins is the only word that jumped out at me. What has been
That was
happening while I have been
that was-
gone?
That was when the hunter, when you said Tom walked into the thing, into the inn with a sack, with like a bloody sack. And I was just like, here's your foreskins. Just dumps them on the counter.
Jesus.
Oh shit! What are the chances you think Wingspan will sponsor us?
You know, you never know. I mean, actually, you never know. They
So
are
you
coming
say
out with
there's
Dragon
nerds.
Worm. They're coming out with Dragon Worm soon, so you never know.
True.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Worm
true.
span.
Worms.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Worm span.
Yeah.
Worms and birds.
It'll be fun.
Birds and worms.
All right, folks. Thanks so much for
So,
joining us for our
yeah.
second session of Vaesen, Mythic Britain and Ireland. We are playing one of the adventures out of the back of that book. I will now say that the adventure's name is Old Meg because it is no longer a spoiler.
Sweet.
Fair.
And it's really cool and really fun. And the players have already derailed it in several ways. So I'm
Wait,
interested to
really?
see where this is going to go.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Really?
I feel like I thought we were still on.
Yeah, you're
but-
just
we were, like,
the very first
laser-like
derail you
focused.
did was by going to Annensbury and beginning your investigation there when you were supposed to begin your investigation in Brancombe that night. Like, you're like, fuck Brancombe that night. Annensbury.
Oh,
I'm like,
people always do that, though.
okay.
Like every
Ah.
investigative role playing game I've ever ran, like people always like go exactly like way out of line of like what you expect them to do. It's just the way.
Yep, we're doing good. I'm pivoting where
Yeah,
needed
nice.
to pivot and stuff. Couple
Nice.
characters are doing a little bit different roles here, but we're on
Gotcha.
track. Things are heating up, and we'll
Gotcha.
see if our brave and intelligent investigators can thwart a terrible catastrophe, or if they will merely be witness to it. Dun dun dun.
Or be part of it.
Dun, dun, dun.
Or be
Or
part
be
of it. That's true.
And then we'll be out next time with new characters.
Hey.
Hey. All right. So I guess I'll do the thing. Thanks for watching us. You can find us on all our social medias as DMs After Dark. We're pretty much everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, because we're cool. Although now they just let anyone in. So we're in all those places. You can reach out to us if you want at dmsafterdark@gmail.com and let us know what we think of us, how we're doing, that sort of stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's all we have.
But
Be
please
sure
let
to-
me know all the ways we got food and accents and
Yeah, please.
everything.
Like one of
wrong.
our funny things, the best thing about playing Vaesen so far is just the British people reaching out and being like, I can't believe you put marmalade on a scone. I can't believe you ate a scone for
No, it's
breakfast.
not for
So, like,
breakfast. Yeah.
please
They're
let
I
us know
truly
all the
enjoy
things we're
those. I
getting
feel like I
wrong,
am
because
actually
it is-
learning something.
It is
Too
hysterical,
late to
and I'm also
apply it,
like-
but learning
yeah.
nonetheless.
Yeah, that's right. I love hearing that stuff. So please let us know. It's really awesome. And yeah, this will be up on YouTube by Monday the latest. If you happen to want to catch the rest of it, although if you're here, that probably doesn't matter. But I said it anyway.
If you're hearing this live, you don't need the Monday
Doesn't
YouTube.
matter. And if you're watching it on YouTube, it's too late. It's already there. But either way, it'll be there. When we do a thing, if you miss it, it will always be on YouTube
There you go.
by Monday the latest. So, in case you didn't know this time, you'll know next time. It'll also be in podcast form the next Friday. Be sure to check out Rainy's podcast, Rainy Plays Games.
Yep.
It'll drop on Tuesday. I think he's doing Iron Sworn again on Tuesday, an episode rather than one of his other things. But either way, whatever it'll be really good. We've got some really cool stuff coming up that we've scheduled to do. That'll be a surprise when it comes out recently. And so that's it. That's all we have
And if
until
you're
next
looking for a
time.
new RPG to check out, please check out some Free League RPGs. They've been super awesome to us,
Yeah,
letting us use
Free
their
League
art
has been
and sending us PDFs of
Unbelievably
not only the
phenomenal.
game that we're actually playing, but all their other games too, which they're all awesome and very, very neat. So show them some love. Maybe drop a few bucks, pick up one of their amazing products, and have some fun with it.
Absolutely.
I've been looking through Forgotten Lands again, and it's like really, really cool. Really cool.
Yes, I have plans for Forgotten Land.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it looks really, really good. So until next time.
Oh, I was gonna say
Oh,
too.
go for
Also, congratulations to Kung Fu Fenris for winning our very
Of course. How could I forget?
yes, for our very first giveaway, which is awesome and befitting. But yes, and if you have time to check out Austin Conrad's new book,
Treasures of Glorantha 2.
Glorantha, yes.
Yeah, two. Check out one also because they're both really good. As a matter of fact, check out all of his stuff because I bought it all and it's really good and you should have it too.
Hells yeah.
No,
Until next time, inside a mob.
Yeah, and also
Nice.
thank you, Austin. Before we say that, thank you, Austin,
Yeah.
for the giveaway. It was really cool of you. Until next time, Insight a Mob.
All right. Thanks,
Good night,
everyone.
guys.
See ya.
Good night.